Okay, hey guys. So welcome back to a second live. For anyone that wasn't here, the first live, of course, that was the vigil being held for Sebastian Rogers, and this one, we're gonna get into it for sure today on this one. But first of all, hey Charmaine,
Hello.
you guys in chat as well. Yeah. Okay, so did you do what you had to get done in that time? So this
Um,
live.
yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't really have a lot to do. I just wanted to.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
know.
hot in here. It's only 9 degrees outside, but the apartment's got that boiler heating.
Guess
It
what
just
it is here? It's
is so
16
hot.
degrees. 16 over here, Jermaine.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's so we're both from Canada, and Melissa is from Indiana. So I want to say first of all, prayers to Melissa. She's really been going through a lot of health issues, extreme. So she's gonna head off to the take herself over to the hospital again, and because she's having a hard time breathing still. She just had came over off pneumonia, but anyway, so prayers to Melissa for that. But and so me and Charmaine are from Canada. I'm from British Columbia. She's from Alberta. Our the shape of BC, if you're American, is BC is the shape of a boot, and it looks like a boot. And Charmaine, well, she lives a province over from BC, so she's an hour time zone different. And right here, it's 3:05. It's 4:05 over there, and of course, it's 3 hours Eastern Standard Time over there. So yeah, so we got some better weather where I live. We saw snow a few weeks back for a few days, and then it went away because it rains more than it snows here, and
Hmm.
the snow and coldness truly from upper BC onwards for
When I
months.
was at the apartment, just probably a little bit before Christmas, like in the shoe shop there, no snow at all. The
Oh, in the
lake,
shoe shop. Nice,
no
nice.
snow whatsoever.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you
where
go
the
to
boat.
the house in Salmon Arm, it was like 2 feet of snow. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, somehow, yeah. Well, you know what? We saw it once here, and it went. Stay away. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. So to get on today's live, we're going to be talking about um, stuff that I feel like is plausible, and same with Charmaine, of what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Um, I think that there's some stuff that possibly has come out recently, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But before we start off, obviously the visual was today, and Charmaine, you didn't have a chance to see the visual.
No.
Um, but before we do a couple of things here, if you don't mind, I'd like to do two things. First of all, I want to do this, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. 1 second. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to do this. It says, "Where are you? A prayer for persons who are missing." So today, Lord, we cry out to you on behalf of our loved ones who are missing. We anxiously and patiently await their safe return or just to hear news of their whereabouts. Even though you said, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication." With thanksgiving, let our request be known. It is heart wrenching not knowing where they are. We feel so overwhelmed and helpless. Lord, you said you would never leave us or forsake us. So we continue to trust and hope in the mighty working power of the Holy Spirit that they will be found. So, of course, that's a prayer I came across today when I was looking for a prayer. I meant to actually show it earlier, to be honest with you. I totally forgot because of the live stream going on. But, anyways, I totally forgot. So I wanted to do that now. Um, so amen to all the missing people out there that we don't know where their whereabouts. Pray and protect them that they be safe. Um, Now, I'm personally a church going person and stuff like that. So for me to physically say a prayer, that's not going to happen probably. But if I can read it and still understand the beauty behind these things, that's okay. But Charmaine, I thought I'd let you watch what Seth said before we get started into the rest of this. It's going to be about what we think is a very plausible thing that's about.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm going to have to show it from my channel because I'm not really sure that I was seeing it. I was at the last minute here, I was racing. I was like, you know what? Let me show Charmaine Seth when he was doing that. So just going to put up my own darn channel. So 1 second here. Well, it's a little weird seeing me both, but in a second here, I believe this is where Seth comes on. Okay. The volume for them was really, really bad. But don't worry. So I'll just quiet myself I'll take myself off so we don't. You guys see Chris or Katie there? Oh, I don't think so. Nope.
Thank you, Sebastian's Army. Appreciate everybody being here.
Biggest hugs, Seth.
This needs to everybody needs to understand that every day we will find Sebastian. We need to look for him every day, like it just happened yesterday.
It will get louder.
As I'm up here, I did write a prayer, and I'd like to.
It should get louder. 1 second. I got it as high as I can, guys.
Sacred prayer for Sebastian, calling upon the angel Samuel. Oh, most high God, ruler of heaven and earth, in the stillness of the solemn night, we gather with hearts steadfast, bound by Father's unyielding love for his son Sebastian, a child of light, innocent and pure. By the eternal name, we do summon Samuel, the angel of death, the guardian of divine justice, he who moves at thy command. O Samuel, fierce and unrelenting, stretch forth thy hand, not in wrath, but in righteous protection. Stand beside Sebastian, wherever he may be. Let no harm befall him. Let no evil touch him. Be his shield in the unseen places, his sword against those who do him wrong. With thy blazing eyes, seek out the wicked who cloak the truth in shadows, unravel their lies, and cast their works into the light. Break the chains that conceal Sebastian's path, and scatter those who stand in the way of his return. Yet we beseech thee, not for vengeance, but for revelation. Let the weight of justice press upon those who would see Sebastian remain lost. May the voice of truth thunder so loud that no decent can withstand it. O Lord of hosts, guide us with unwavering faith. Strengthen my heart, strengthen everybody's heart, so that hope never falters. Let love be the beacon that calls Sebastian home, for love knows no bounds and no night too dark. Until the day breaks and Sebastian is returned to his rightful place, we stand unbroken, for his name is etched upon our souls, and his light shall never fade. So let it be written, so let it be done. In the name of God, amen.
Amen.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. If you know the song, sing it with me, everybody. Amazing grace, amazing grace, how sweet the sound, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Was lost, but now I'm found.
Is that bullhorn ready? Right there?
But now
You see that stir right there.
I see.
Right there.
Oh, it was a
Well, crap, Charmaine, I want to cry again. So that was,
I mean, he held it together really well. It was nice.
yeah. And I love that song as well, Amazing Grace. Yeah. Good song. The guy was a good singer too, but yeah. But his speech was like, at least he spoke really loud because they were really having bad mic issues there. But you know, he was just like screaming from the rooftops, right, Katie? So this live, we're going to talk about it. Talk about whatever we want on this live. But I wanted to show that because that was the visual from the live that we did earlier in Hendersonville. And Christopher and Katie, of course, were not in attendance. They haven't been in attendance at any of the vigils besides Chris showing up just before a vigil when him and Seth were talking that one time. Other than that, let's see. Just thank you guys for all your prayers for Sebastian, all your green hearts. Hi, Janine. How are you? Yeah, it was a beautiful visual. Mama May or Wild Wolf. Amen. Hello, you're multitasking. Listen to you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, we're doing good on this Sunday. Are you doing good, Charmaine?
It's not Sunday. It's Saturday.
Saturday. So, you guys, I get my days mixed up. I get Friday, Saturday off, and I work Sunday. My bad. My
Don't
bad.
scare me like that. 'Cause I've been next.
I do this all the time. Because I start my shifts on Sunday. Because my shifts are Sunday through Thursday, but I work from home. But regardless, I always do this every week. I always think it's Sunday because I have to work the next day. So I feel like it's always the Sunday. But yes, Saturday.
I'm supposed to be going to Fox Creek on Sunday, so it's Sunday. I gotta go.
My bad. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Sharon Parker's in the house. Thanks, Sharon. Barb Hare. That's really sad they won't show up for him. You know, Charmaine, let's just speak about this quickly, about this part of it. I think it's pretty despicable, disgusting, that they literally cannot put themselves aside to join an individual that's in Hendersonville for Sebastian, let alone go to any vigils. And when the first vigil happened, Christopher Proudfoot made a post asking what time it was at. And I thought it was because they were going to go. It ended up being, no, it was because they didn't want it in their neighborhood. And they didn't go at all. You know, instead, some aunt and uncle or whatever showed up. Probably Melissa, maybe. What do you think about that, Charmaine, as a whole?
I would love to brainstorm about reasons why parents wouldn't show up to something like that, because I can't think of one good reason. And sometimes people can come out with some out of the box thinking, but makes you think, okay, maybe. But I cannot think of one good reason why a parent wouldn't want to be there to even just show support for all of the supporters helping to try to find their son. I can't think of one reason.
If anyone disagrees with that, honestly, keep it to yourself. Because I can't.
mean, give it to me. Like, tell me what would be a good reason. What is a good reason?
That they're dead. and they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Roadkill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on their way to the visual for Sebastian, and suddenly a semi smacked him both in the face, and yeah, that would be not such a bad thing, perhaps. Just kidding. I don't wish any ill will to come to anybody, regardless. Well, certain people in this world, maybe, but they haven't. We'll preface by saying, of course, is that we're going to be talking about Christopher and Katie. We're going to be talking about the Bower Sox, mostly during this entire live. We're going to be going over a bunch of things. And I think that there's some things to me that perhaps are definitely might be connecting because something happened to Sebastian, right? Something obviously happened to Sebastian. And most of us do not believe that Sebastian left that house on his own accord. No one believes that, basically trails or the dog scents didn't even pull off of the yard. And I know that one person that was doing Bullhorn Betty said, does anyone know where that interview is where Widener said that the dog basically went to the garage door? Does that make sense? Does it not? We're going to get into all of that because the Proudfoots have been very inconsistent with what they've been saying. There's a clear difference between Seth, who has been and held multiple vigils throughout this year. The emotions match what he's doing. And again, I actually find it very disgusting for anyone that doesn't see that, to be honest with you. That's my personal opinion. But we'll preface to say that, of course, nobody is guilty of anything to do with Sebastian Rogers up at this point, right? So everything we say is just our opinions and not facts, besides speculation about certain things for sure. And yeah. So did you want to say anything before we get started, Tremaine?
No, let's get into
About that?
it.
Okay. So if you guys know the other couple nights ago, Donna Serafina and Sweetie Pilo were doing a live together. It was really nice to see Sweetie Pilo and Donna. Had been quite a few months. I know, again, Sweetie Pilo, health issues there going on, so which she had said on her own channel. But anyways, so nice to see them both, and again, prayers to them both. Well, but anyway, so Donna Serafina, if anyone doesn't know her, again, I'll just keep it short and sweet about this part. But the reason why I even knew about her was because one day I just happened to come across this video about Kylie and JJ, and I was listening to it for a good couple hours. She was mumbling a lot, so I had to really pay attention to what she was saying. And then it got to a point where she started talking about their vessels, we'll call them the vessels. And she started saying stuff, and I thought, okay, this is very specific. And okay, after a bit, I was like, okay, whatever, too much for me. Whatever. Of course, hence September comes, I believe it is. The children are found. This is months prior. That's Donna. Donna had done the reading, I believe, in January of that year, that same year. And because I remember going back looking when she did it to see if it was one of those instances where she was saying it prior to these children being found or whatever, because I didn't know nothing about the story, the Lori Vallow case there. But anyway, so fast forward. Basically, she just nailed it. I can't say it any more accurately than that. I was jaw dropped when I listened to the details that were coming out with the case, and instantly my brain went back to this lady that I'd listened to, and I was like, and the reason why I remembered it was because it was so graphic what she was saying. So, anyways, so Donna and so the Sweetie Pie Low separately will say the exact same thing, but yet I know both of them from the Suzanne Morphy case, meaning that they were following that case as well, and that's why I know them. Not like I spoke to them very little. I think I maybe once I posted something on Sweetie Pie Lowe's video or something like that, but I was never really a person to really talk too much to other creators and stuff like that. I was just following the case, trying to do my work, and then. But anyways, that's where I know them from. But obviously, Donna Serafina, I had, like I said, listened to this case about the Vallow, wretched case, awful case. This is when I really. So can I just say this and tell me if you agree, Charmaine? So for me in Canada here, when I hear the United States people talk about zombies and stuff like that, I belly laugh because it seems like a lot of people truly believe in this, and they literally build these shelters underground for when this zombie stuff's going to happen. And so that's how I've always remembered the US for zombies when it came to that. Do you recall that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So when this case came out, the Vallow case, I was like, oh shit, this shit does exist over there. Really? These loony, like, I mean, the case was so crazy. So to me, I was like this whole taking the lives for these psycho reasons and zombies and whatever it was. And I was just crazy. Like that case is crazy. You don't even think that stuff would happen in your wildest dreams, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in zombies now over there. I believe in that. Go dig your tunnels, save yourselves from people like the Vallows and stuff like that, crazy asses. Right? In that case, even to this day, I cannot compare another case to me that is more crazier than that case. Is there a case that
No,
you can think of that's crazier?
no. I mean, that one was, you couldn't even think to see that on a TV show.
That's what I mean, right?
It was just so surreal.
I know. So Donna and Serafina, like I said, so we'll stop the screen here. Well, actually, we'll just go on over. We'll start off because, so we got stuff to go through. So we'll start off. Let me find Donna. I got so many tabs open, but okay. So let me get to the right one. Okay, so that's at the 34 mark. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so during this live, Donna is again. You know what? Warning. There's our warning sign. Viewer discretion is advised, people. Viewer discretion is advised. Hold on. Okay? If you guys can't handle some of the things that Donna's about to say, we're not going to watch all of it. But there's certain things here I want to point out to you what Donna said. And which will make sense once we go to it. So she talks about Danny-O. She says she gets that name. Okay. She also talks about, oh shoot, I mean, what's the second one? It just left my head as I went to go say it.
A name?
No. I just said the name. Danny. Oh my goodness. My brain just went left on me all of a sudden.
It was Danny, and she said it in 3 different ways, I think.
No. I'm talking about the second item besides the name. The 2 things I was telling you yesterday. Okay, so she said no, honeysuckle. Besides honeysuckle, then there was the gas station.
Yeah.
There was the brown hair, and you know what? We're just going to play it. My memory will jog. So this will connect when I go through it. Okay, guys. But we'll start off playing this video first, and a couple of things.
I don't mean the YouTubers. I mean the people behind the disappearance of Sebastian. Maybe trying to feed out this information to divert attention away from what really matters, which is, in my opinion, seeing the mugshots of Terry Bowersox, Kathy Bowersox, Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, and Danny Guy. I think I would like to see a news segment with their mugshots, but I'm not saying they did anything. I'm just saying that's what I would like out of all this. Just tearing some. Can you imagine? I would just tell you, I saw my daughter in the morgue. Her body was blue. She was beaten. She was, in fact, unrecognizable. When they first found her, they couldn't even identify her. The only way they identified her was that they found a purse with her ID like 10 feet away. And there was a tattoo. She had a small tattoo. And even then I hung up on them and I just said, she trusts everyone. Probably someone stole her purse. And it was either the cops or the coroner. I hung up on them and went and laid on my bed, just went into shock. And so if you imagine that Seth has been going through this just utter, Seth is a person that moved across the country and rebuilt his entire life so that he could have a relationship with his son. He's a person that has spent his days off building this relationship and taking his son on hobbies and to different things. And it's just like, he's devastated. And will he even survive this? I mean, Seth. And so I'd never heard that name before. And interesting. So then I kept hearing, remember Danny O. And remember, this is in March. I didn't know any of the characters at this time.
Nina hadn't come out yet, had she?
No, nobody had. He had only been missing a couple of weeks, and one other YouTuber had picked it up. And so I'd never heard that name before. And but I mean, they didn't show me him doing anything. It just, they were giving me the name.
Gotcha.
They were also giving me custom woodworking, which is what that person does for a living, surprisingly. And they were, and it was like the biggest chills of the reading I wrote. That man does woodworking, custom woodworking. Then they also showed me a man who, remember, first they showed me a man eating a corn cob. And then they showed me the corn cob stuck to his tooth. And then they showed me it turn into popcorn. And I'm like, what the heck is going on with this guy's tooth? Something's going on with the front tooth of this man. And that is one of the men that I saw in my vision, which could be wrong, but I saw him beating Sebastian. They killed him. And let's see, we'll get to that.
Okay.
1 second here. Okay, so I have to go through different things. So just to show you. So we'll stop that one there for now, and we'll come back to it. And then I'm going to share my screen again. So it wasn't that long ago that, let me find it. Okay, let me get to where I need to go. Too many tabs. Holy crap. God, right across my whole entire screen. Oh, this is what I want. Okay. So January 9th, this Maddie person posts this on her. Okay, so you guys remember a couple months ago that basically there was a post on Maddie Myers there about like Nina's daughter that had wrote something about that, like Kathy Bauer socks and everything that basically her mother Nina had said on Trev Time. Said, saying I remember, but also on Maddie's post was in here. Let me just take myself off to make this bigger for you guys. So she puts, cousin Danny also runs a construction company. It's his house the poker game was on Friday night, where Sebastian got into trouble for getting on Danny's computer. Probably saw something he shouldn't have. You're on your way to get your camper, and she puts, 2 days after Sebastian went missing, you're stopping to help a stranger, which was on an interview with Terry Lynn. Now, this one doesn't overly make sense to me when she puts this. The person that, I don't know if this is a post of hers or a post that she's posting that somebody else did. I'm not honestly sure about that. I know that Trev Time is on her friends list, but I'm still not very sure about that, who this Maddie Myers actually is. She never answered me back. Anyways, she said that the lady had a flat tire, but in this one said the lady wrecked out. I think he changed it because the flat tire was too similar to Stephen Stearns. Um, so January 4th was Chris talking about him and Danny stopping on the side of the road. Okay, so maybe this was in a Terry Lynn interview. Chris talking about him and Danny stopping on the side of the road in Memphis to help a lady with a car. It would be interesting to know if anyone checked into accident reports or the mile marker, because I think it's possibly him trying to get ahead of something. And would it be unrealistic to think that Christopher is a seed planter and that he plays mind games? Right, Shemaine?
Absolutely. I mean, that's
Would have.
when we were talking about it last night, it was like, I don't want to say a bunch of light bulbs went off, but it was the first time in a long time I thought, wow, that could be something to really think about. Because I think that that's exactly the type of personality he is, to plant these seeds to get people thinking in a kind of a misdirection kind of way.
Right. And I think he does that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, in hindsight, like, meaning as the interviews went on, we could all see what was going on. But hindsight is 2020. You got it all to look back upon to realize just how many times he tries to manipulate, create a narrative, misdirect is what it comes across like. Lies, blatantly just lies on there. So basically Donna was saying that she kept hearing this name Danny, Danny-O, etc. And as well, like in here, okay, there's something about the word poker game. Okay, now Donna doesn't say anything about poker game, but in this post, cousin Danny also runs a construction company. It's his house the poker game was on Friday night. Now I'm gonna go back. Well, hold on a second. Actually, let me share that screen again. We'll go through a couple of these other things. So Kathy Guy Bowersox, hence Danny Guy, which is probably her brother. Hey everyone! First and foremost, thank you all for prayers for Sebastian. He's still missing. I've been informed that the authorities are asking for volunteers to search. That they ask you to check into the command center and be assigned to an area. If you can and are willing to do this, it's greatly appreciated. For all those who have reached out or who have texted, if I haven't gotten back to you, thank you. You more than you know. Yeah, right. Okay. Your concerns and prayers are greatly appreciated. Sumner County Sheriff Office puts a post underneath that. Miss Bowersox, please edit your post. We appreciate your willingness to assist in the search for Sebastian. Currently, we have hundreds of trained professionals conducting the search equipped with specialized technology. This includes the use of drones and air support, which helps us reduce the chance of false sightings. Our teams are experienced in such operations, ensuring a thorough and efficient search. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. I'm not going to lie, I belly laughed when I read that. Just belly laughed when I read that. What do you think about that one, Shireen? Dear Miss Bowersox, please edit your post. That was fun.
Comical. It shows that they're not conversing with law enforcement, I guess, is one takeaway from it. Otherwise, they usually advise what they can and can't talk about, right? So obviously she wasn't in the know.
We'll come back to Kathy Bowersox, but so this is Guy, this is Danny Guy, and that's of course, and he owns a company called Second Generation Construction, which is to do with woodworking. And I remember when Donna was talking about when she was, I remember there's this other partial reading she has Okay, before she kind of came out and did this one. And she talks about a person being in woodworking, like something to do with woodworking. Oops, 1 second. I think my husband needs me. 1 sec.
She's left me here. It's all very interesting when we get into it here. You start kind of putting these pieces together, and it's all speculation and, you know, I guess not really accusing anybody, but just another, I guess, brainstorming session where some of the things that we heard now we're able to put some of it together to maybe come up with another theory that makes sense to Sunny, makes sense to me. So, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know how all this works, so hopefully we don't get in trouble for sharing our speculation. But
Okay, sorry. My husband, he's gonna go get some Indian food. He says, not like we just didn't get a whole bunch of groceries in the house yesterday. Anyways, plus he's getting me my water. But okay, thanks, Charmaine. So going back to, let's see here. Back up. Husband's coming. 1 sec. Yeah, honey, 1 second. Sorry.
she did it again. So much information from the command center that we never knew. Now that is wonder
Okay.
what.
So Danny Ray Guy. Okay, so construction. Of course, this is so Kathy Bowersox. We're praying so hard for everyone to be involved. We are praying to God for all the volunteers and professionals to find Sebastian and bring home safe and whole. And what is something about Anthony or I can do anything to make meals, any meals, please DM me. And then, oh, that's a lady replying to Kathy Bowersox. Or saying something to Kathy Bowersox, and she's like, yeah, thank you, will do. So this is Snaggletooth. So Donna also kept talking about a person that was, I think my husband left. Okay. She was also talking about a person, like she said, with like popcorn, like a popcorn tooth and stuff like that. And so a few things that Donna had said, and I take everything with a grain of salt regardless. But I also know that Donna has more credibility with me because of the fact of the Valo case. And that one was mind blowing. I've just like you guys, just the accuracy was crazy. So I definitely do listen to what she's saying. Does it make sense? Again, if you ever listen to usually a lot of mediums, it's like they might be showing something and it might mean something different to somebody else. Depends on maybe how, like I said, you see things. So someone might show a heart, in a sense, and it means that maybe that you're having heart issues and stuff like that. However they symbolize whatever. But anyways, so Donna just kind of here's the information, do with it what you will. This is what I see now. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's like her teeth are so perfectly white. And then you got rabbit tooth there behind her, or popcorn tooth, whatever you want to see. I mean, you guys, no offense, but maybe it's just because I think that he's one of the biggest jerks. Because look at the way he tried to, hold on. There you go. There's a precious picture of you. But anyways, the way he tried to attack JLR and Carrie Lynn and stuff like that. Anyways, okay. So let's go back to the video with Donna and Sweetie Pie Low there. Again, have to show different things to get to the main topic about this all to do with Sebastian's disappearance. Okay, so going back to here. And let's see here. Okay, share. Okay, so now, whoops, no, I see I can't do that big if I need to use the transcript here. So now I want to put in the word punch. Okay. Now, again, viewer discretion is advised. Donna gets very graphic here, but I'm only showing this for a purpose, okay? Okay.
So the other ones I didn't see. One of them went up. So Sebastian was like crouched in the corner, and he went up to Sebastian and started punching him.
Oh,
And then he was trying to like say stuff like fight back. Sebastian never fought back.
yeah.
And he was punching him over and over and over. And then at some point he grabbed him like this in this kind of stranglehold, like wrestler hold like that, which you can knock somebody out. He didn't. At some point I see him dragged outside of that little outbuilding and hit in the back of the head with a shovel. And I saw him. I'm so sorry, Seth, if you're listening to this. I'm really sorry. But I think the police need to know, and the focus really needs to be on getting these people arrested and put on trial for murder.
Yeah.
So, and I saw him hit in the back of the head with a 2x4.
Oh my God.
Oh, and then I don't know how it happened, but I don't know if they told him to run. Like, you could run to there. There was like, I don't know how that happened, because it's like, then I'm just seeing it happen. That, so he's like trying to get his way through some wooded area, Sebastian is.
I'm going to stop that one there because I'm going to go over now. Okay, so she talks about punching. And did she say chokehold? I know
Yeah.
that she did this.
Like
Okay.
dragging them outside, kind of.
So I'm going to stop there. And now I am going to go to a medium I just happened to catch yesterday. Okay. And this one, let's see here. Sorry, guys, going through my tabs. I got tons of tabs open. Not that one, but this one. Okay. So I'm going to present this now. Okay. Now this is Psychic Medium True Crime. Okay. And her video. I'm just going to drop the link. Hold on. I'll drop the link for this in case anyone wants to listen to it. I personally never watched her before. But I'm going to play a part. So to remember that. Remember that Donna's talking about punch, chokehold, whatever, an arm, and like this type of thing. So we're going to listen to this part from this channel, if you don't mind. And I'll play that out. 1 second. Yeah, I haven't seen her myself until yesterday.
Oh, okay. He's talking about hold, like got him in a specific kind of hold that would have hurt his arm and left marks. Like you ever see a wrestler hold another wrestler and like some twisted arm move and it really hurts, and well, that's what he's talking about. It's kind of like getting him in some it was a pattern. He always basically saying he always overpowered me, he always hurt me. It's like he found joy in tormenting him all the time.
Okay, 1 second there, because I feel like it went over the one part that I wanted to play there. Maybe it didn't, but just give me 1 second. But I have to make it smaller so I can see the thing. I want to go back to the word.
I need to see, even though I can't see on the ground,
Okay.
he walks on.
Start it from here.
I'm sure I haven't been looking at the messages yet.
I'm not sure if you guys heard this part.
I don't see it, guys. Sorry.
Should I do it yet? She's about to say it. Okay.
About the word punch. Well, punch me. Okay, sweetie.
Punch me, punch me.
If it's okay to go back with you, I'd like to ask you some more questions, okay? Is there anything new, Sebastian, in your case that has not been said on the news? I will always ask this question first because I think that's the most important that we can ask right now.
Okay, 1 second. I think I'm going to move forward here to 350.
Okay, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Who loves me? That was my sister. Even if not by blood, that was Sebastian's sister.
Oh, 1 second. I'm at the wrong time.
I didn't know I still had my tag on here.
I meant to go to 350.
That's what happens when you travel, right,
I meant
people?
to go here.
Something to do with his arm. And Chris did it to him. And Sebastian is lying, saying
Here, I'm
he
going to back
didn't do
it
that
up.
to Sebastian.
I'm going to back it up just a little bit.
When Mom asked you something, you shook your head no at the table. What did she ask you for you to say no? Chris told her he did something, and he's trying to say, no, I didn't. He lied. He lied. He would do things purposely for Sebastian to be punished on a level of such cruelness that Sebastian could just be his normal self, his happy self, his outgoing self. And he could have done something wrong in Chris's eyes. As if you do recall, she's on the phone at that time, and he's shaking his head no. I assumed it was because of something maybe getting on his clothes. But if I'm understanding him correctly, she asked him something that almost like Chris would have told her he did, and he's saying, no, I didn't. He lied. Unbelievable. Like almost like he wasn't home at that time, but I had just gotten home. But he keeps saying carried out. Chris lied, and something about poker. When I ask about the cameras.
Okay, so I'll stop that for a second. Okay, so there was a couple things in there. Again, I'm just playing you guys a quick bit. You guys can go watch her on her channel there. And again, it's the Psychic Medium True Crime. Did I post this already? If not, I meant to. So the thing that I wanted to compare there, yes, she did get reward money. I only learned that the other day. She did get reward money for the Valo case. She said she was trying to do something with it. And I don't know that went over too well. She was trying to get people to help her and assist her, and because she has like so much stuff that is doing already, but she's trying to get people to help like with research and stuff. And then I think she spent a lot of money in that, and then it never really panned out. I think with the people on there. But now, okay. So the reason why I wanted to share Donna's, and then I wanted to share this lady's here, is because it's like two different people and she's saying about punch me. Donna talks about Sebastian being punched, and then, but Donna never said anything about poker. Now, if you guys were watching when we started the live here and I showed you Maddie Meyer's post, it said that, and Danny owns a construction company, and they were playing poker on Friday night. So it's almost like I'm meshing. So we got Maddie Myers talking about poker in her post, and then we have this lady bringing up, he's saying poker. Um, and so, but yet, I don't know that she says Danny. And like, I don't think this lady does, but and then she talks about like a chokehold and his arm. And you've seen Donna Serafina do the same thing about, like the arm. And so I just wanted to show you guys that, just because it was like two different people basically saying the same things. Not all of it was the same, but there was definitely some similarities to what this lady was saying. Now, don't get me wrong. I always take it with a grain of salt. Um, like, okay, did this lady listen to Donna Serafina? I don't like, when I watch people, I just kind of look for them to be genuine. I don't find this lady to be crazy. She's just a matter of factual type of person. So, anyways, Charmaine, going back to you on this one. So, I was wanting to point out about how there was some similarities about the word poker being used. That's so. This lady is basically saying, is like, she's a medium, and she's saying, asking, like, she's literally saying Sebastian, like, asking him these questions, and he's like, tell my mom to stop lying. I'm not the one that took out the trash. So, right, and that's what she's doing. And then she'll go, this is what Sebastian's saying to me, tell my mom to stop lying, da, da, da. But the similarities to what Donna said, to what she said, but even the poker one wasn't with this lady, or with this lady, but it wasn't with Donna, right? And yet that word poker again came out, and this name Danny, again, that, Donna Serafina had heard. And then we realized that there is a Danny. There's a Danny guy that's her brother. And again, we're not accusing Danny guy or whatever. And we're just, this is all speculation and going to be about thoughts about what happened to Sebastian, possibly. So, what do you think about that two different people are kind of saying the same thing, and then this word poker from Maddie's post is in her reading, or her talking to Sebastian?
So, number one, when you're talking about mediumship, they get their messages and information through basically symbolism, and it's a matter of interpretation. And something that this medium could connect with would be something different than what Donna would connect with. So,
Right.
the fact that both didn't bring up poker or whatever, that just means that obviously there's something that she understood or could understand easier when it came to do with that part of the story. Another thing is, I am a rabid skeptic, and I looked to see when she did this 20 hours ago. So it's very possible that she did see Donna's. But the information is a little bit different in that, yes, Donna said that about the chokeholds and about the scratches, bite marks, whatever, on the forearm. But I can't remember. Yeah, that's what this one said too, right?
Well, no. So Donna was basically saying that Sebastian, like something about his arm and being like kind of put into a hold, and she kind of went like this.
Yes,
This
but
one,
Donna also said that Sebastian's arm was badly broken en route
she
to
did.
that.
She did.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
They said it both.
completely different things.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
This lady specifically said during this live, and she told it to her audience. She said, look, I don't care what other psychics do. I find it insulting because then you're taking away from the other mediums. She's like, I don't want to know what any other person said, because I don't want to have information put into my head from somebody who might do something totally different and stuff like that. Um, I like people that are matter of factual like that. That just basically says, look, I'm here. And I don't really care if you're watching this live or not, but this is how I do my thing. And that's all I'm doing here. I do not care. Not that she doesn't care, meaning it that way, but I don't care about the others' mediums and what they have. We all interpret things the way that we see them. And I'm just doing me. And that's all I'm doing here. And I'm just giving you the information that I am receiving. So don't plant seeds, don't put out other things out there. I do not care. I just want to be here talking about Sebastian and what I see. So correct. So it's kind of like they're talking about the arm, both of them. They're talking about like his arm hurting, that Sebastian saying his arm hurting. Again, it was a very interesting live. And I just look for someone that is grounded to this earth, that they're not like there's a few like there's definitely ones out there that they just suck. Okay, that they just literally suck. I don't look for actual card readers per se. I'd rather look for a medium. A medium to me is someone that can connect versus flipping cards over. But there are some good card readers because I have been read by cards and my palm. And it was crazy, crazy, crazy real. That was my second one. There was two that in my life that I had that were jaw dropping to me. The second one, the lady scared me because she talked about a death in the family within the next 5 years. I was like, you don't do that shit, especially not to me. You don't, not when I have my child and now I gotta worry if something. So I literally, back then you got the little tapes, kind of like what Caputo does there. But anyway, it's got a little tape. I literally ripped it out, destroyed it. Why? Because I left with such a negative feeling. As accurate as she was, I didn't want her to be accurate about somebody dying, and then she wasn't able to tell me who. Don't even tell me that. I didn't want to hear that at all, right? That we shouldn't even be doing that unless they ask you first. But anyways, so what I was trying to connect here was what Donna said, what this lady said, very similar things. Some things that maybe names or something that's a little bit different as well. But other than that, it was just to me about when when stuff is out there about this poker game, and it's not from Donna Serafina, it's from Maddie Meyer's post, and it seemed like it was a tough, Terry Lynn unfortunately took down a lot of her lives that she did with Christopher Proudfoot and different things. So it's too bad because those were some really good lives. But anyways, so again, this is all just connecting in the stuff that I'm kind of trying to show here now. And about, again, punch. She used the word punch. Like I'm getting punch me, or whatever.
But that is also, Donna said the same thing. She didn't say so many words, but she said that whoever was doing the punching was telling Sebastian to punch me back. So
Yeah.
They were saying the same thing, just in a different way.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. I'm not really up to date. I think she's Christian, Donna Serafina, but I honestly don't know. I don't know anything about religion per se. I don't know what a Christian exactly is. I don't know. I just don't know. So for all you Christians, for anyone that knows Donna Serafina, is she a Christian? I think so. I want to say she is, but
yeah, she was something to do with her church.
Yeah,
she was. Yeah, or
well,
is.
I mean, I've had some Christians say that they're not allowed to entertain this stuff. I don't know. Honestly, when it comes to that stuff, I honestly say don't care. Each to their own, okay? I just live by the rules.
Just pretend for a second. Like, let's side with the skeptics. And it's not real. Could you imagine for 1 second living inside this woman's head? Because she's really seeing these horrible things. So I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to go on and lie and con. I know there are con artists, but they're not accurate, and they're not, and I'm not saying Dawn is accurate all the time. I didn't even go and watch the battle thing because you all were telling me how accurate it was. I heard about it. I wanted to see the ones that she got wrong. And I wanted, and I did. And I went back and I watched a lot of her stuff, and she hasn't been right, especially like on Delphi.
Yeah,
it's way wrong. But it's super hard to do like a cold reading when you don't have anything connecting you to that case, because who knows what she was picking up.
Yeah.
Like when she was interviewing her, when she was reading for Carrie, that's a different story. But when she was just doing it on her own for the Delphi case to try to figure out who BG was, no, I mean, she was way off, knowing what we know now. But when she has a connection, an actual connection to somebody involved in that case, she seems to get it right a lot more than she gets it wrong. You know?
Correct. Because I always look for that too. You know, like I said, I mean, thing is that even I'm a realist, okay? Like, meaning not everything, like, people act like somehow, like, give me the lottery numbers or this or that and stuff like that, you know? And sometimes they could just be totally interpreting something wrong than what it is. And
100%.
you know, so like like I said, the Vallow case was absolutely jaw dropping. Okay, like that type of accuracy is scary to me.
And there was another one too, and there's no proof that she was
Yeah.
right. But quite honestly, she came with the same exact theory and idea that I've had, and I mean, I know it. That this one little boy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head because I'm tired, but you know he's been missing for years, and you know they're wearing the T-shirts, and the parents are out doing their thing, but he went missing on a camping trip, and you know, you have to consider that maybe it was a bear because it was bear country. It was July, and she hit on it like immediately, and that kind of validated it for me as well. But I could hear the mom on the phone thinking that, you know what, they did catch a bear or they did bait for a bear and they went down that whole thing, but they could never find remains, which a 4-year-old little boy, I don't know, there would be a whole lot left if a grizzly bear was. But I'm just saying, I mean, I believe that Donna is, she's the real deal. I do.
You know what? Same. Okay, so Donna lost her daughter. Okay, and that's kind of what sent her on a very spiritual path. And so that's how she kind of got into all this. Oh, there you go, Tremaine. Thanks, S Dubs.
Thanks. I was worried I was going to have to buy memberships or something.
All right, now you can use those Sebastian Arts, S Dubs. Thank you for becoming a member on there. Okay, now this one I had seen about a month or so ago. This one right here. I want you guys to watch this one with me. And again, listen to what she says. But I mean, she obviously knows about this post or this, like the same thing that Maddie Myers knows about. But I just want you guys to watch this one a bit with me, how it kind of plays out. Now, Charmaine, think about that souls thing though. So so I want to preface this because this made me laugh so hard. So this is when SF Investigates made that so-called funny about the video that was out about them carrying Sebastian Rogers. And he said, and then when he brought it in, it looked like a foot. And he said, this is sponsored by Dr. Scholl's or whatever, right? And then they have a Sasquatch. So now I'll play this, but just bear in mind that I just said that. But keep in mind still about Sebastian Rogers and disappearance by the same token. So we're just going to watch a little bit of this one as well. Okay. I'm probably going to put this one on a faster speed just so. Let's see, playback speed. We'll do 1.25. Okay. Anyways.
When you went missing back in February, can you help us understand who did this to you?
It's called Beyond the Veil. So B, like a BB, like you can see it there, Beyond the Veil. Okay. And she does readings for different things, but Sebastian Rogers, she does some readings for as well. Actually, the latest reading that I watched, was actually, at first I was like, well, what's this reading even about? It seemed like that whole reading actually was just talking about money. And I don't know how to explain it. It just all kind of came about money and lies and basically frauds. Charmaine, just to ask you, and this is just a wild guess on our part, but do you think that perhaps if you were just to think about the Bower socks and Proudfoot, would you ever see them doing anything fraudulent whatsoever, or trying
Oh,
to?
God. Of
Never.
course not.
Of course not.
Of course not.
No, the greedy don't get greedier by doing stuff like that. Fraud.
No. So,
Making their
stop
tax
it.
lies. No, I know, right? Stop. Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna say. So, okay.
We know you left your home and you didn't walk out that door. From what I've gathered from you, you're no longer Earthside with us. Can you help us understand who did this to you, Sebastian? Who hurt you? Who took you out of your home? You are welcome to manipulate the energy within this space to give us messages in any form that you choose. Can you help us with 2 cards from the Lenormand here and tell us what happened to you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You went missing. Who did this to you?
She's a heck of a shuffler, though. I gotta say, I'm jealous.
The tree. If I'm remembering correctly, that was the first card that flipped out for Summer, and I put it back. When I was editing, I caught a glimpse of it. But I'm pretty sure that was also the first card that wanted to flip out there.
Most people don't think so, S-dubs.
The tree talks about like family ancestry. So again, wow. I know the camera caught how that card flipped out. That's incredible. This is the fox. If you go watch other Sebastian readings, Katie comes out as the fox. And then we have the family tree here.
Charmaine, I just want to point out that fox rhymes with Bower socks. Just say it.
Sort of, yes.
You're welcome.
So Chris and Katie were married. Chris was not biologically related to Sebastian. So if we're asking who did this to him or what happened, it's telling me somebody in his family tree, in his bloodline, and the mom is coming out as the fox. Somebody deceitful, has hidden agendas, thinks they're cunning and charming, and has everybody fooled to their true intentions, the true evil that lies beyond the mask. Deceit, lies in the family secrets. Wow. I can't believe the fox just came out upside down like that. And I mean, it came out like there was energy behind it. You can see the difference, the way the cards come out, whether they just hit the table or, if I drop them. But when there's certain energy behind the way the cards come out, and that's why I like that I have this mirror here. And I don't think it's a coincidence now I'm talking about the mirror, because that's a repeating message for Sebastian. And I don't know the last time I've talked about having the mirror in the readings. Wow. Okay. I just got chills on my back. I definitely feel the energy of Sebastian here in this reading with us. We have the fox showing up. And then what I was going to say about the mirror is I have the mirror here so that other things in the environment are being picked up on the camera beside me, behind me, my hands that sometimes go off the camera if I'm shuffling over here. It's hard to see now. I have the Beyond the Veil sign over there for the last couple readings of 2024. As we close out this year, I just kind of wanted that to send us off into 2025. But typically you can see more of a full circle angle while I'm recording so that you can see the energy around the space. When I ask Spirit to come through and give them permission to manipulate the energy, if I have something fall off the shelf behind me, or like if the curtains move over here, something, the way the cards shoot out, I want to be able to capture as much as it is possible without putting my face on camera just yet. So the fox, very, very interesting. All right, let's just dive in, guys. I'm going to read the tree and the fox very briefly. I'm sorry if you guys are super familiar with Lenormand and me reading the book. Aggravate you guys, fast forward, skip ahead, speed up the reading. I don't know. Family, heritage, and roots, but this also speaks to health, well-being, the lungs, and the heart. Life is a string of cumulative personal experiences as well as those passed down through the generations. Look at your emotional, physical, spiritual, and psychological history. Examine your overall health and all influences. Remember that roots, while not always apparent, are at work as much as your branches or current experiences in supporting your feelings of safety and security. This card is asking you to look at everything you require for your overall well-being. It can indicate your extended family as well. Always note surrounding cards for more information and remember to check your health. Take special note if this appears next to coffin or site, and ensure your lungs, heart, and circulatory systems are doing well. I don't think this is a message about heart and lungs, but I am getting the generational issues here and examining the roots. We asked him who did this to him. Someone in his family. Or extended family. And a fox. The fox, yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with, I believe it was part 2, maybe part 3 for Sebastian, where I believe it's the one titled Hurricanes Are Named After Women for a Reason. I believe it's that reading that Katie started to come out with fox energy. If you're interested, there are playlists on the channel for Summer, Sebastian, the different true crime tarot readings I've done. I try to keep them all updated. I'm behind on a couple, but you can find the bulk of them in the playlist there. The fox talks about strategic, charming, camouflage, or the ability to be visible or invisible at will. The shadow is deceit, jealousy, cunning, duplicity, and dishonesty, a dishonest mother. Foxes, though good-looking animals are cunning, foxes are not always deceptive, but you must recognize them for what they are, regardless of what they represent. This card often indicates fraud and deceit, and it can also be used as the modifier for wrong in spreads. For example, fox plus stork may mean the wrong time or place to move or begin a new project. It can also indicate your ability to be strategic in a situation that may refer to a work-related rivalry or self-deception. The difference between the fox and the snakes card is that the snake represents an often hidden threat, but the fox appears as a person who uses charm and a mask to hide their true intentions. Yeah, this isn't a hidden threat. This isn't somebody crawling through the window and taking Sebastian out of the house. This is a person who is fully visible and hiding something, somebody in Sebastian's family, and I'm going to say the mom only because of the way she continues to show up as the fox in other readings. So we'll clarify here. We're going to get 5 tarot cards for each line, 5 for the tree and 5 for the fox, to see what the message is with each of those symbols there. And then we will clarify every single card with the secret pocket oracle. All right, Sebastian, can you give us a message about the tree and how this relates to who did this to you? Can you continue to tell us who did this to you? What happened to you? Who did this to you? What do you want to tell us about the tree? Thank you for the messages you've already given us. Help us clarify.
Those are some sharp-ass nails.
The 5 of Pentacles has come out in Sebastian's other readings. This is showing that camping scene with the camper
Sasquatch
on the back of a vehicle where they're out in the woods. There's somebody there watching. There's 3 people over here in front of the campfire. They're next to water out in a forest.
See the Sasquatch?
Yeah.
So I just happened to come off that same day of the Dr. Scholl's thing that SF did. And and then all of a sudden I see this card reading and it has like the Sasquatch in it. Oh, God. Did you say something?
No, I mean, it bothers me a little bit that she doesn't use her whole deck. She just keeps taking a few more, but whatever.
Yeah.
With a camper, that's reminding me of the first early readings I did where I was getting the energy that he's in, not just trace around like a camp area where Chris would have been able to pull in with his trailer, because I don't think you, I don't know, I'm not going to get into it. Okay, 7 of Cups. This person kind of looks like they're standing on water. All right, I'm going to get the rest of the cards out. What I'm taking from that immediately is this was not just this one person. This mother that I'm highlighting over here, this is showing me the scene.
Quickly, guys. So for anyone that is coming in watching this right now, again, I'm showing things from the beginning of this live throughout it until we get to the part that we're going to talk about a very plausible thing that possibly happened to Sebastian. So for anyone coming in, that's what we're doing, and that includes watching a couple of well, one was a medium and the other one is a tarot card reader. Things that I personally came across that I was like, ooh, this one was pretty darn good. Because sometimes when you're thinking about stuff with Sebastian's case and what makes sense of it, that's why I felt like this one had some, good things to it, plus a few things that she says in it. But we're not watching it all. We're just watching some of it.
Of what happened to him and where he could be. He's definitely not in the house. He's definitely somewhere out in the forest, near water, by a tree, underground, in the water, underwater, somewhere near a campsite, RV, park. And I feel like there was multiple people involved. 3 minimum, maybe even more. But the root of what happened to him started with his mother and the extended family, which would be Chris. So Katie, yeah, the magician. There was many hands.
No, I don't know who that is.
Moving different pieces here. They each had a role. There's 7 cups here. There was a few of them out in the woods when they were disposing of his vessel. There was a mastermind, which looks like a woman here. And the magician is using many different people, many different moving parts to make this come together. 2 of Cups, but ultimately the 2 of Cups being at the heart of it, that would be like Chris and Katie, in my humble opinion. Again, this is all alleged, my opinion, none of this is fact. This is a tarot reading and me communicating with my guides. I am just a crazy lady from California who plays with cards and talks to spirit children, so don't mind me. 2 of Cups came out with the Queen of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Again, showing me Katie is not doing well mentally. She's not doing well mentally. This 2 of Cups, the magician, she had a big part to play in what happened here. But Chris also orchestrated a lot of the moving parts with his extended family. Like Sebastian's extended family would be Chris and his family. I do feel like there is a handful of people that were involved in moving different pieces of this to try to keep it as concealed as possible. It took many people to make this happen so quickly and so inconspicuously. There was no way one of them could have done it on their own. But I do see this Queen of Wands being highlighted in terms of, again, with this tree here and the mom. But if anyone's having nightmares, sleepless nights, terrible regret, anxiety, fear of being caught, or potentially thinking about coming forward, I believe it's Katie, and that's not a new message either. I felt that for quite a while. Even when I first started reading on Sebastian, I could feel Katie's extreme anxiety around the situation. And if anyone's going to break, I think it might be her. Thank you, Sebastian. Can you give us 5 cards for the fox? Can you help us understand what happened to you? Who did this to you? Let's put these. There's something to do with the black cat, guys. I don't know if somebody in their extended family, Chris's family, has a black cat. And in the very first reading I did for Sebastian, I was getting the message of like looking closely at an article of clothing that's going to be found on something. If he was found a sweater, a backpack, there's going to be something. And I remember saying that in the very first reading to like look closer at an article of clothing, and there'll be some kind of evidence on there. And lately when I touch on Sebastian, I get references to cats or black cats. And I'm wondering if this is just something to do with animal hair that's going to put somebody at the scene of something when this all comes to light. There might be some sort of hair, whether it's animal hair or a fiber, a car fiber, a carpet fiber, but that black cat, I feel like it might be a cat hair. That's kind of crazy. I think Chris is allergic to cats. I think when I started getting that download, I was searching anything I could find about cats that would tie back to Sebastian Rogers. And I think the only thing I found was that Chris was allergic to cats and maybe Sebastian had cats and had to get rid of them. I could be making that up, but I feel like that's right. Or I read it in the comments somewhere, and you can't always take other content creators and their commenters as fact, because a lot of people repeat information they hear from other psychics as fact, and it's kind of hard to determine what's real and what is somebody's psychic impression that people are continuing to spread around. So if I seen it in a comment, I can't say that that's real or not. I don't know. Maybe it is, but maybe Chris was allergic to cats, made Sebastian get rid of a cat, and there's something to do with the black cat. Okay, the fox with the 3 of cups. There's 3 people here around this bonfire. This fox, here's 3 people here. We're asking who did this to him, and he's showing us three main players with a lot of moving parts. The main people calling the shots were the 2 of cups, the couple, but I believe they had a third person's help and maybe more, but 3 seems to be significant. All right, Sebastian, can you give us 4 more cards?
Do you want to quickly say there? What I do keep noticing is there are quite a few readers that, I shouldn't say quite a few, because I know I'd have to watch that many, but I consistently see 3 people, and she said if not more, 3 people, right? Anyways, again, I'm playing this because this part is basically like listening to this. There's only a few things that could have happened to Sebastian. That is fact, okay? Now, either Sebastian left there on his own accord, which is usually comes into the highly unlikely. Noisy. Hey, Noisy over there. What you doing?
What?
I mean, your mic is picking up whatever it is you're doing.
I'm eating Skittles and answering S-dubs.
Oh,
My bad. Sorry.
It's one of those things is that unless you're on my side, like if I was doing the same thing, for instance, you would hear it like tenfold coming out of the speaker.
No.
So
Sorry.
just so you know, Charmaine's eating Skittles, everyone, and answering S-dubs back. Okay, right. So like I said, kind of trying to piece everything together to come up with perhaps a plausible scenario that might have happened to Sebastian Rogers on this night that he supposedly disappeared. There's multiple things here with that, but we just have come off of watching 2 interviews on Fox and on WSMD. I'm getting feedback from your mic. Hold on.
Feedback from my mic?
Yeah, let me see if it's better.
Well, I've got my window open because it's so hot and
I don't think that's it. Just do me a favor, Charmaine. Go out and then come back in. Usually that rectifies that. If you could do that. Thank you. Yeah, it just started happening, the feedback. These 3 we discussing Phil evidence was burnt. Correct. Like I said, so everything that we're doing up until this point is going to, like I said, come to the part where we start really talking about Sebastian's disappearance. Do you guys want to watch any more of this? Or do you want me to continue along with the live? I was just kind of going to let it play out till the, end card kind of came there. But just type 1 if you still want to watch a little bit more of this, and type 2 if you don't. Let me see if that fixes it. 1 second. Sorry. Say hi, husband.
Hi, husband.
Oh, husband, that's a lot.
They gave us loads compared to the other place. Just eat what you want.
All right.
Thanks. Waste anyway.
All right. Love you. Thank you.
CS steps. This is the type. This is why I like collecting them. I don't want to steal the show or anything, but this tarot deck is my newest one. It's Disney villains. I feel like it should be a collector's item. It's not, because you can buy them anywhere, but I think they're so pretty and so cute. I don't know. I collect them. I collect them. They're really nice.
I'm too. Whoops, I'm blurry. One sec. I'm just my camera's blurry. I have a few decks of tarot cards. I've always wanted to get into them, and I just never did.
My
Yeah.
daughter has got a gift. She's not a medium, but she knows things.
She's not muted. Yeah,
I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh.
S-Dubs needs Q-tips. So okay, so we'll play it just a little bit longer. And actually, you know what? My husband, he just brought me some Indian food. My husband's from England, if anyone doesn't know, and he loves his Indian food. And but look at Charmaine, look at you guys. Like, look at this plate that he just brought me. Like, I can only eat like half of that at best. He always does that. Instead of saving the leftovers, 'cause I swear to God, the leftovers they never eat. I can put them in the fridge and they never eat them. Anyways, we'll continue watching this just a little bit more. Nice that card deck there, by the way. Mine's below my feet, but it's buried underneath some other things. I have a couple decks, but you know, like I said, I ain't no card reader. I always wanted to learn, but I just too lazy, man. I too lazy to read and try to understand it what every card was worth. Yeah, so that's on my bucket list. Maybe when I'm dead, I'll start reading them, perhaps. I
My
don't know.
mom, like my daughter, like I was saying, she's got this weird gift. She doesn't read tarot. She's not a medium, but if you hand her something, she can feel energy, or
Mhm.
she can just things come to her, and she just knows things. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Well, you know, it's just like myself, right? Like each to your own, but just like myself. Um, it's like, for instance, if I know somebody's around me, if I know somebody's kind of like an angel or whatever you want to deem it as, instantly I get a shiver down my back, and I can just tell. And you notice that a lot of people when they're talking, oh, I just got the shivers. That can happen to me a lot. I can be watching a video on somebody that's missing or something that's being said, and I'll get like a shiver or something like that. But I've always been very much aware of people's auras, and I can tell, like Christopher Proudfoot. Let's just take Christopher Proudfoot. That man only had to speak a very little bit on the first Duchess. Okay, I already know that he's a snake. That he is. I instantly feel exactly his personality, and I didn't like it. With Katie, I remember with Katie, my feeling with Katie was she wasn't being truthful to who she was. That what she was representing in that WSMV video for the first one that came out, I just felt like she wasn't her true self. And I couldn't really pinpoint it exactly, but I just got that vibe. So I always will get a very strong vibe about a person. So if I don't like you right away, because I literally will not like you ever, because I already know who you are as a person, and I don't like people that take advantage of other people. I don't like a bunch of liars. I mean, we all lie. Don't get me wrong, but there's a difference. The difference between little white lies along life, and there's a difference between just being narcissistic, full blown that is self-absorbed, that they care more about themselves than other people, in a sense that they're fakes, they're not their true selves, and that they're just a bunch of liars. They have no place in my life, type of thing. I only like people that actually truly care about other people, because it truly is one of the most fulfilling things that you can feel in your heart, that makes it full, you know. But a lot of people, like some of those shit channels out there, you know, have no idea. But you know what? Karma's a bitch. And what comes around goes around. What you put out to the universe, you know, when it comes back at you tenfold, don't wonder why. Don't wonder why. So I've always been very intuitive. Does that mean I'm always right? Absolutely not. Am I am I very close to being right a lot? Absolutely. I am. especially when it comes to people. Okay. So again, if you're being sarcastic in the chat, I can see what you're saying. I'm not stupid. I didn't fall off no turnip truck, because I'm very intuitive. I look to what people are saying, but I read between the lines. So when someone's being sarcastic in there, but it's sarcastic, but in a ignorant way, I just don't have the time of day to even read any more comments from you. If you're going to come in here and be one of those type of personalities, because again, I personally too, if people subscribe to the channel because they like following it or watching it, so be it. But I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. I'm just going to be myself throughout my entire life that I've always been, and try to be that good person that does good things and that has a heart that cares about people. And I like myself. I don't care if nobody else likes me. I like myself for what I stand for. Shemaine, you like me too, though. I know you do.
I like you. And all of that is that comes down to your
She's a good mom.
being empathic.
Be empathic. Exactly.
You feel and you absorb everything around you. And it's a curse and it's a blessing because you can read people really quickly. And it's 99% of the time you're bang on.
Yep.
And if you're not, you never get the chance to figure it out because we've learned over the years to trust our instinct and trust that gift, I guess. Well, today, and I was off helping Ian, I felt 100% fine. I was perfectly fine. And one of his friends came in, and I know he's got stage 4 cancer. He's going in for surgery. Immediately, my body became sick. Nauseous. I had to step outside. That's just one of those, like you said, you pick up on feelings, you pick up on words. It doesn't matter if it's written or spoken words. You can read the room like no other. And that's why I love you.
And that, and the thing is too, so for instance, because I never want to take from somebody that's actually experiencing like what Seth is going through. I never want to make it seem like somehow I can feel 1,000% or 100% exactly what he is. No. But do I take on somebody's emotions? So when Seth or anyone that has a story to tell, my body basically feels the sadness that's coming through of the person speaking, because all I'm thinking about is, or all I'm feeling myself is the pain that's in their heart, the desperation, the sadness of it all. And that part, I feel like it's a curse and a blessing, but I like the fact of how deeply empathic I am. But I also find it very tiring that I get absorbed by these feelings because I'm a happy person like all day long. I wake up with a smile basically, and I go to sleep with a smile. So I have to deal with things that are very heavy on the heart, and children especially. It's really hard. It's really hard to take on that type of pain when, because I put myself in the shoes of that person.
Yeah, but you have to learn, and you'll be a lot happier for it. And this might come off sounding cold, but it's not. It's self-preservation. You have to be able to identify when you're feeling emotions that aren't your emotions, and you have to be able to tell the difference. That is this mine or is this something I'm taking on? And then you can protect yourself better, and it won't be so draining.
Yeah. I've learned to, because I never expected to be in true crime. So many times I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. This is not my cup of tea. But the thing that always has kept me going is thinking about although I'm just a small channel, I can put out awareness about cases, and I can care about cases and talk about them, but especially that we can bring awareness. So there is some feedback still coming from your mic. Can you guys hear that? Is it bugging you?
I'm going to mute myself except when I'm talking.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But yeah, so, anyways, I'm just going to cut it short again, even though it was longer, but, bless you guys for everybody else that is empathic and caring. If you aren't, then I'm sorry. Then you're heartless. If you don't have sympathy and realize that Seth is genuinely, right? This isn't a hard knocks here. This is pretty simple. that if people can't recognize that someone like Seth is being absolutely genuine to his feelings, to the fact he's looking for his son, like I said, then you have brain problems. I'm sorry, you do. Because this isn't rocket science to see what's happening here and who's doing what. I think that anyone that has any sort of brain cells or common sense, and any sort of critical thinking, just even a little bit, can recognize when somebody is being honest and genuine, or when they're stammering over their words, and they're lying about their polygraphs. They can't remember from what they said this time, but just in general, right? So that's for me personally. So when I smell a narcissist, and a mile away, and I can see right through them. Remember Greeno from Delphi case? I can smell that guy right away. And you just know that they're up, just like JLR. Sorry, like I said, I watch JLR now because I know who he is. And so for me, I've come to terms exactly who he is, right? And hopefully he's turned over that new leaf and stuff like that. But the thing is that, like I said, there's con people, there's snakes, there's all these different types of people out there. But again, I like to think that I'm very wise to these people. So once I recognize exactly, know who they are and stuff like that, then I can say, okay, right? But I always feel that I'm compromising my morals when I give somebody a second chance that to me was a despicable human being, or still is. And I'm not talking about JLR in this. I'm just talking about in general. Okay. But JLR has found his niche, or whatever you want to say, in the true crime space. Anyone that knows his past, there is, honestly, you can't make up that shit. But, JLR, like, this stuff feeds him. He likes doing this stuff. And he's doing it legitly, meaning he's earning an income legitly off of YouTube, right? Again, only if you guys know his past, you would know what I was referring to. So I know
he's good at it. He does good at it. He does well.
Yes, because it's his niche. Unfortunately, he wasn't using his niche or niche, whatever you want to say, prior to that. But again, I remember Kate. It was during the Murdoch case. And do you remember there was the other boy that was killed and they were looking for answers for him? And for some reason I'm drawing it.
Stephen, yeah.
Stephen, that's right. And how could I forget that? It's my husband's name.
His Buster is his pretrial, I think, is coming up right away. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Do you know who this is, Sherman? So this is my mother-in-law. This is my husband's mother. Her name is Simone. She's beautiful. She's my age. She's blonde, beautiful. Okay. To be honest with you, I find that me and her are very much similar. Like how much she loves her children. She would be fighting just like, she would be screaming from the rooftops. You would not be able to shut her down, but she loves her children. Her children are everything. So again, that's my husband's mother right here. Just a beautiful person. Okay. She just exudes a lot of the same. Sorry, I guess I'm saying I'm a beautiful person too, I guess, when I say that, but she just exudes all those qualities that any child would love to have in a mother. I wish my own son spoke to me the way that my husband speaks about his mother. He's always worried about her, always, thinking about her and stuff like that. And when she's going through rough times sometimes and stuff like that, So anyways, mother-in-law, I call her Mama.
Nice to meet you, husband's mom.
All right. What, me, Sonny? Wait. And then there's Jace. So my husband's from Nuneaton. I guess, so you guys know, like, they're from Nuneaton in England, eh? And Jace was on a live. We were doing a live covering the whole, riots that were going on there. When that guy remember that guy that killed a bunch of children in that dancing school, like the Taylor Swift thing or whatever. But anyway, so he joined me on a live. But then mother-in-law there, she'd be talking from the side on there, but she's not ready. She's not ready to go on camera, nothing like that. Anyways, so thank you guys. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Anyways, love you guys. I'm gonna have to tell Steven's mom's in chat and Jace. Anyways, good people, just really good people. And this is what we're kind of talking about, and we'll get back. Oh, Jace. Look at this. This family love right here. Keep up the good work, Sonny. Huh? Thank you. Yeah. That's like family love right there. So now £2, just so you know, is almost $4 Canadian, Charmaine. Did you know that?
Say what?
Say what? Right. So we don't like to give to them because we lose half of our money. Yeah.
You know the other night when I super chat whatever I did for $27.99 Canadian?
Yeah.
$65. $65 they charged me.
Oh no, that's something wrong with that.
I swear to God, I will send you a screenshot. I swear to God, $64.99 they charged me.
Because it's American, and Americans like
our money is monopoly money right now. I'm telling you, like I was shocked. Yeah.
Well, Charmaine, it can't be because that's more than 100%.
I know. I was like, what the fuck did I just do? But I'm telling you, I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but getting back on track. But what I want to say is, okay, love you, family in England. Love you, Mama Bear. Love you, Jace. And they have a brother named Ricky. So Ryan and Steven, Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, SmackDown. But anyways, so they're out here. So Ryan is the brother that lives with us, and Ricky is the middle brother between the two. And now he's spending more. Thank you so much for that. See, a lot of love there. Anyways, thank you. And bring Mama. Mama needs to come on too. Yeah, I would love her. I would really, truly love for Mama Bear to come on. And Simone is a pretty name. So, Charmaine, what were we just saying? Totally gone now. Oh, I think I was just basically saying this, okay? Mama Bear would do exactly what I would do, what Seth is doing. She wouldn't stop. Right? And that's what we're going to get into here about Sebastian Rogers and his disappearance. Because again, something happened to Sebastian Rogers. And when parents act a certain way, not just one thing, not just two, not just three, not just four, we're talking about during this entire case, right? You have a mother that almost feels like that there's no true bond, that love bond that it builds up. We heard Seth talk about that in a sense back when he was talking about him staying at home with Sebastian. And, it almost came across like, I got a child. Anyways, we'll get back into that, you guys. Thank you, Jace. Thank you, Mama Bear, for your super stickers and chats. Thank you guys so much. It's like 5 plus 8 hours. There's going to be a few weeks coming up where it's going to change to back to 7 hours. But yeah, so they're up late. Go to bed. Go to bed. No. Anyways, so we're going to play out just a little bit more of this card reading here, guys, okay? And then we'll go back and carry along with it. As you were. I got Mama's approval. All right, then. Honestly, I want to say this to you before I play the thing. We were out there, I believe it was 6 years ago, 2019, I believe it was. Christmas of 2019, okay? Mama Bear had no idea that we were even coming. There was one person that knew, and that was Steve's uncle, my husband's uncle. It's the only person. So one moment we're talking to them or in the day, like Steve talking to his brother. And then next thing you know, what seemed like a few hours later, even though it was longer because it's a long flight, right? Next thing you know, we come through the kitchen, because the way it is that you kind of come through their home and there's a door that can take you to the living room, but that's closed. So you have to go through the kitchen and then kind of back around. So we walk in and secretly, and then we come around and we go, "What's for dinner?" And I still have that video of Mama's reaction and like everyone's reaction, and crying, and Mama just sitting there like in such shock. Anyways, I want to say this: best damn Christmas I ever had. I'll never forget that. It was the best damn Christmas I had in a long, long time. And we did Monopoly all the time. We just hung out. We had, Yorkshire puddings. They have these big ass ones that go on a plate. And we had Mama made like mashed potatoes all the time. It was just good family love and just having fun and just hanging out. We went to castles. We went to car boot things. We did a lot of stuff. Anyways, it was 3 weeks of just pure. I just loved it. I'll never forget it. And I would love that to happen again. It's been, you don't realize, like 6 years is a long time. My husband's only been home once in the 10 years. Same day that Easter is on, you guys, is April 20th, which is Weed Day. It's the same day my husband landed here 10 years ago. Okay, so and we're almost been married just 9.5 years now. Love my husband in pieces. Like I said, it was one of the best darn ass Christmases ever. If I haven't had one in a long time, so it meant a lot, So I want to say that best Christmas ever. It was, and I loved it. Yeah, yep. And I felt like for the first time that I literally, like, to me, my husband's family is my family. Like, his mom and that, like I said, they're caring people, just a good family. Anyways, teary eyes. Love you guys. Okay, let's play.
I just seen a comment from somebody asking how to join my members. I haven't responded to the comments yet, but I just want to tell you guys, I don't really know yet. I still have to figure that out. I tried to put the link in my description box. It's supposed to just come up on my channel as a join button, but it doesn't, and I don't know why. I probably messed something up. I will look into it and try to get it figured out to find out why my join button is there. I have about, I don't know, I think 12 or 14 members already, so I don't know how you guys are finding it, those who have already joined, but I can't find it either, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'll look into it for you guys. Thank you for all of you who are interested in joining my members. I haven't done a members only video yet, but I do plan to get into that. I just had very minimal time during my busy season at work, so as soon as I get more time, I will do some content just for members only, so you're not missing anything there. If you want to show support, there's always super things, but it's not necessary if that's just your way of wanting to give back to the channel, because there isn't really any member specific content yet. But thank you to everyone who's interested in joining, because it does help me out, and I am so grateful for you guys' support. Okay, 3 of Cups with the Devil and the 5 of Wands. Oh, okay. Well, that took a turn with this fox, didn't it? This is also the card of like celebration, parties, get-togethers, social circles. There was 3 of Cups could also be like third-party infidelity type of energy with the Devil. That could definitely be something with deceit, third party, the Devil, and 5 of Wands. I mean, it's giving energy of like conflict with this 2 of Cups, potentially around a third party, or just somebody that would be a third party meddling energy within the relationship. A mother, a best friend, an ex-wife, a lover, a secret, fetishes. I don't know. There's an energy that is impeding on this 2 of Cups that's causing conflict, and it could be addictions. Just seeing the money on fire on top of this building, so gambling. I know that comes out quite a bit for Sebastian as well. And I believe Chris was at a poker game that night. Again, that I haven't confirmed, but a lot of you have told me that. With Danny, which is the guy who builds houses, which is how I've been connecting Summer and Sebastian and the third child, who is yet to be named. But there's something to do with the housing community, gambling. And I know they were all together, I believe, that weekend for like someone's birthday party. They were said to be at a poker game. So there was energy around this Three of Cups, like a social gathering. Because here, like, they're all around a bonfire. This could mean they've had a few drinks. They're getting together. A fight breaks out. Something happens to cause some sort of chaos within the group that weekend, potentially. Let's get a couple more. Sebastian, what else can you tell us about the fox? And who did this to you? What happened to you that night? Oh, I need one more. Six of Cups. This is showing a group of people sitting having a tea party. It looks like at like the kids' table. So if they were having a social gathering that weekend, it looks like the kids were present, which I believe they were. The Six of Cups is like an innocent, joyful, nostalgic energy. Sebastian, can you give us one more to help us understand the Six of Cups?
Want this to keep going forever, so I am going to stop it here. You guys can go watch it. It's on Beyond the Veil on the channel if you guys want to finish watching it. The reason for it is that she kind of does bring up that she heard about like Danny Guy and all that stuff as well. But kind of thought that the way that the cards were kind of coming out, playing out, I just actually enjoyed the read myself. Now, of course, let me put it this way: I'd say I was cherry picking a bit because obviously, if I find that someone's just totally a shit card reader, I don't even last a minute watching their crap. If I think that they're just got the whole freaking weird vibe going on, they got this whole magical shit set up, not like this. Okay? I'm just talking about like the whack jobs out there because there's a ton of them. Okay, there's just a ton of them. Just like there's a ton of good people in the world, there's a ton of fake ass people that aren't mediums and they think that they might be able to read and they're just throwing down cards. The reason I like this one is because, well, it kind of resonated with Sebastian and like about, the trailer, about the lovers and, different stuff like that. However they interpret their cards and stuff. A lot of them are, but I can tell you from my own experience in real life, there are some true people with gifts. Like I said, I mean, somebody doesn't want to watch me because I said I had an experience back in early 2000s. I know it's true. I don't give a shit if you guys don't believe it's true. I had my experience, so I know that there's life after death because I know that I would have not known those words like that he spoke to me and then a week later heard them. So everyone just do you, that type of thing. But for me, there's definitely people out there that are gifted, and there's definitely a lot more that are absolutely not gifted, and they just think that they're gifted. But you just take it with a grain of salt, right? You just like, even if it's just to listen, and maybe that during that reading, it doesn't matter if it's a reading or a live, that perhaps all of a sudden a thought comes to you that you never thought about that could have happened with Sebastian. Possibility. That's all I'm looking for when I'm watching any of this. I'm just seeing if there's something out there that even either remotely resembles what I've been thinking about, and if other people are picking up on that, or that maybe there's something I haven't thought about, or maybe something I wasn't aware about that they, like she said, like that she had heard about, Guy and or Danny Guy and poker game and stuff like that, but she hadn't verified it, right? Well, again, we don't know if that's true or not. I mean, again, we've maybe heard this, but it's not verifiable information unless it's coming maybe perhaps from the horse's mouth. But typically when the horse's mouth open up their mouths, the Proudfoots, they're typically full of lies and stuff like that. So, anyways, just insight. Again, people can't handle watching this stuff, and it's against their religion. It's all good, right? Like I said, you do you, I'll do me. And at the end of the day, I'm just here to bring awareness to Sebastian's case and talk about it. And if people don't feel comfortable about certain topics, have a good day. We'll see you in the next live. Just kind of like what Karen had said there. I don't have any religion. So I'm not limited to, let me put it this way. I'm not limited to any sort of religion. I wasn't brought up on it. And at the end of the day, I just do me. So I don't limit myself to anything at all. So anything is possible. So I don't like to limit myself to a box but I understand if somebody is brought up that way and that's what they like. I was taught that the Ouija board was like Satan, basically. Like, you don't mess with the Ouija board. I was also told that if you walk over a crack, you're going to break your back, type of thing. So each to their own. I just like the fact that I don't have any expectation of anything. I have a very open mind, and I'm willing to look at anything. And if there's something of interest, especially in cases that you're following, like Sebastian's, then there is, because at the end of the day, Sebastian's case is very confusing, right, Jermaine? And it is. But again, we're kind of pushing along this live, and go ahead, Jermaine.
People fear what they don't understand, and I understand the fear when it comes to tarot and Ouija and all of the things that were taboo for so long. But now in this day and age, you've got all these alternate religions that are now kind of more mainstream. And to me, it doesn't matter what it is. Organized religion, I don't want to say what I believe about organized religion, but if you really think about it, what people fight about and what wars are about, and the amount of starving, homeless people, and the amount of money that these church leaders get, the math doesn't math for me. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. I'm not religious. But everybody is free to believe what they want. Everybody is free to believe what they want. And usually, like I said, when you're afraid of something, it's because you don't understand it, or because you were raised to think a certain way about it, and you don't practice it. And that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't look down on other people unless they're hurting people as part of their religion. That's a different story. But if you're harming nobody, believe what you want. Just don't try to shove it down my throat. We'll get along fine. Yep. I used to collect Bibles when I was younger. It's always, since I was a kid, it's always just been so interesting to me. But and I made up my own mind about all of it, and I came to realize what my truth is. So.
Yeah, Charmaine has a channel. She doesn't do much on it though.
No, I just figured out how to, I don't do anything on my channel, but now my podcast platform automatically puts my podcast on my YouTube channel. So I've got 90 videos, but it's all just my podcast. So.
Right. So if you want to go listen to her, some people just like your voice, Charmaine, on there. Yeah. Her channel is True Crime Story, right?
Right.
That's it,
Thank
right?
you for remembering this time, Sunny. Wow. It's only been 2 years. Thank you.
I know, because I always want to throw a pod in there or something, or bed or something in there. Let's just go to this, and then we'll go to some more here. Okay, I had the opportunity to go to a seance spelling while in Bisbee, Arizona, and I chickened out because I was scared of what they might say. And you know what? That's the thing, is in certain religions, it's they're taught that it's, like I said, evil and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but I don't find anything evil myself about, angels and, stuff like that. But I think you're right, Charmaine. A lot of people are scared of it. And I was honestly, as a child, I remember playing with the Ouija board once, but I was always taught that it was evil, that you don't mess with the Ouija board. So trust me when I say at this age here, I remember one time going on to my app with the Ouija board, and I'm like, toughen up, Sonny. You're not scared of this Ouija board anymore, are you? Yeah, still didn't like it because that's what I was bred to believe, was that the Ouija board was evil. And it's hard to kind of get past a little bit of that stuff, because as a kid, you never looked in the mirror and said like Mary, Mary, or whatever it was 7
Bloody
times.
Mary. Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary, that was it. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And so I would go in the bathroom and I'd be like, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. But in that back of your head, you're like, you're like, the exorcist going to come out or something like that, or some demonic devil and stuff like that. Hold on, let me just say a prayer now. But it's just one of those things. So I get it. I absolutely get it. Each to their own. My God is Buddha, and I like the whole way the Buddha is the Buddha religion. I don't want to say he's my God, but that's the way I live my life in a sense. When I listen to what Buddhism was, that's the way I live my life. Anyways, and by the YOLO God. The YOLO God always is teaching me stuff. It's telling me to always just YOLO. You only live once. Have a good time, not a long time. Or no, you're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun doesn't shine every day. But anyways, moving on. Anyways,
as long as you know your own truth and you're not trying to, and you don't look down on other people for not
exactly
into your own truth. That's where the problems start.
Right.
And
yeah, and I'll just says, I remember when there was a person here from Delphi, or there's been a couple people. Never place your own morals on somebody else's compass. Okay? I do me in life. You would not like it if I told you what your moral compass is. Everyone's allowed to have their voice. Everyone's allowed to have their own moral compass, whatever. I might be a hypocrite in my moral compass at times. Fully admit that. But it is not for us to sit there and tell anyone else what to think, what to say. I mean, obviously, if you're in this chat, just behave like an adult. That's all that's asked of you. Just be kind and caring. Don't be a jerk off, because you'll find your butt kicked out of here instantly. Because I just don't have the time of day for that type of personality or people, right? But at the end of the day, don't tell, and nobody should push upon their opinions or feelings. And I've had that with a few people. And I literally booted someone that was in here a long time because she was getting all pissy because of that, right? Because something about mob crew. I told her to go suck a D. That's what I ended up telling her to do. Because honestly, all I was hearing was somebody getting mad at me because I didn't think the same way they did, But we should be adult enough to understand that everyone has the right to believe, think whatever they want. But just when you're in a channel, in this channel, just be respectful. Have your different opinion. I don't care. Leave if you're not comfortable with tarot cards or mediums and stuff like that. But just do it respectfully.
I agree to a point, as long as your moral compass, you're free to do and believe what you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
Correct. Well, correct. But again, we're not the judge and jury of anybody else. But for those people, like I said, let karma be a bitch to them and let it come at them. So yeah, I might not agree with people and stuff like that, absolutely. But then I have a right not to watch them, not to listen to them. And again, unless you're unless I know that you're harming a child and I know about it, I'll of course step in and stuff like that for that. But if you're just a animal, what?
A child or an animal, then you'll hear from me. But
yeah, exactly.
Do unto others as you would have done to yourself. That's my motto.
Yeah, and that's why when you're watching these cases and stuff like that, be sympathetic to the victims, the true victims. In this case, we're not very sympathetic to the Proudfoots because they've given really us no reason to be sympathetic. We try, and just can't do it. Because why? Because everything in me is saying that something is not right, that they're lying. Well, we know that they do, but that it's just not right. And this isn't the way a mother acts. This isn't the way that a missing child. Look to Seth. If you want to go look for someone that's doing it right, look to Seth. And that's my standard right there of somebody that is missing a child and they're just devastated. It's been a year. They're still going on lives. They just don't want the name to be forgotten. They just keep pushing and pushing. The man is devastated beyond belief. You don't see that happening from the other court. You just don't. So how can I feel sympathy if I don't feel like they're being honest? And these are things that you would think that a normal mother would do for their child, not wait 280 days before doing another interview. And you call that searching? And then when you say that you're searching, we're not seeing it. Show us. Show us proof that you're seeing it then. Anyways, so this video that we're going to watch now, Charmaine, it's by that lady Freedom's Raw Narratives. So this part right here, you guys, is where they're talking about Sebastian being carried out, okay? So again, just preface to what we're going to talk about right here shortly. So I'll just play just a very little bit of this part. And hold on a second. It's a little hard to hear because this is how it was recorded. So you're going to have to really listen, okay?
He obviously was not ready for the field. They actually ended up pulling that dog back. I don't know about that one. I just know that the sheriff's department had dogs. Then TBI came in, and the National Guard brought their dogs. And every time we ever asked them, it was, there was not enough of a scent trail. There was a scent trail around his house, but it didn't lead us anywhere. And we were expecting that because it's his house. So I'm telling you, from the neighbor next door, when she said that they had turned in their footage 2 weeks late when she was at the command center, and they saw this movement, and it looked like there was something draped over their shoulder. That was as soon as they said, she told me, she said, I'm telling you, somebody took him out of the house. And I'm like, okay, but what I'm saying about Chris's confession to me was that to me was Chris saying that he knows that they walked out with him, or somebody walked out with him. I don't think the dogs hit that. I mean, I think that they were carrying him out. And I think that Katie, they all know that what happened to him. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to say, wow, I'm surprised.
We'll stop that one there. I mean, there's more to that. That was, it's hard to hear. You have to kind of really listen because it was like poor quality, in a sense, but it was like Crabtree, and it was Binocular Bobby there, and then whoever the other person was. Lady Roses, I want to say I know exactly which Sarah you're talking about. I believe she's the one that uses the sticks as well, that she uses the sticks a lot. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Nice person. I haven't actually watched her in a while, now that you say that. Yeah. Okay. And so with that one right there, so that was just about being carried out, right? That she's basically saying that the neighbor that had the footage, something about at the command center, that they could see movement, and like as if somebody was being carried out, right? Then you saw Bullhorn Betty and I think this channel here actually try to show this manipulated picture of Sebastian Rogers being carried out. But again, that was very manipulated, that picture. And so that stuff I know from Delphi case, not to know better than to try to manipulate stuff, especially the way that they were doing it, because they were like, okay, well, this looks like Katie's or Christopher's face here. So let's take a picture of Katie, Christopher, I should say, sorry, and put it on it, lighten it up. Take off the transparency. I'm going to sneeze. 1 second. My goodness. Bless me. Okay. So, but we know that that's been talked about, right? Now, again, we'll get to the gist of it soon here. So, on there. Okay. Now I want to go over to the JLR interview with Bobby. Go over there. Okay, it was this one here, which is the word I got in here. Okay. Which is the part I wanted for JLR. Just give me a moment to read the transcript here. No, that's not the part I want there. Property, there was a dog that hit. Law enforcement didn't even go out there to look. Nah, let's go to. I think I wanted to go to 117 pretty much here. We'll just watch about 10 minutes of this one. Now, don't forget that, like in here, I don't think that you're going to hear it in this part, but, Bobby has said that they had come back, like that they had recreated from basically around 10 o'clock on, that they recreated the day of Sebastian's disappearance. So just know that, like, Allie and that did do that. I'm not talking about SF and those other losers that recreated it. What are you saying? No kidding, to Sherman?
S Dubs is a mod for Pascal.
Okay.
She was receiving threats just as a mod on this.
Yeah, crazy mothers. Yeah,
It's
I like Pascal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, so let me play this. I just thought this part was an interesting part to go back over here.
I have not heard any confirmation of that.
Has one more thing, has the detectives or authorities ever go back to their house, like in certain time, like maybe like a week or 2 weeks after Sebastian went missing? Have they ever returned to the home?
Oh yeah, they came back. What was it, week 2 or 3? They came back and basically started it all over again. Started the searching all over again, and they also reenacted the whole scene. And they started at like 10 o'clock Sunday night ish. Was it something like that? Sunday night, going into the early the next morning to see if they could kind of like retrace each one of the steps and everything that happened.
Type of deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting, but nothing seems like, well, got their evidence and got something out of that possibly.
If they did, they're not telling us.
They're not. How's the neighborhood now?
I think it's getting better. I mean, I'm noticing a lot of neighbors are getting out more and walking dogs again and talking. And I think people think that we're all like huddled together talking about everything that's going on. And it's not like that at all. I think we're all just trying to stay out of it, trying to give them their space and kind of stay away from everything. And we just don't, I know for me, I don't want to get into their personal business. I just don't want to be that neighbor that's all like super nosy and thinks that she knows everything, because I don't know what happened. I don't understand. This kid did not just vanish. He just didn't vanish.
But does any neighbors think it was a kidnapping, or like think their children are in danger?
So that was the very first thing I asked on Wednesday when the TBI came and sat down with me and talked to me. And I looked at her, I said, I get that you guys are being super quiet about this because it is still an investigation. However, if this kid was kidnapped, don't you think you might want to tell us so that we can kind of lock our kids up and, be safe or whatever? And she, instead of her, and I guess is, again, part of the investigation, she said, well, you should always do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, they have a responsibility. I mean, if one of their theories is Sebastian got kidnapped, and they never said Sebastian was kidnapped.
But there was there were no cars that came up their street and then left up their street and left. The only car that was ever seen was the one that was on Kellen, that parked on the corner of Stafford and Kellen for about 3 or 5 minutes, where the flashlights came towards it, backed up and left. And then the trash truck, and then Katie's SUV, and then the police, or then the school bus, and then the police. So there was no other car that ever drove up Stafford.
Was it a car that the lights went to? Or like an SUV or a car? Like what type of vehicle was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. Just the words that where I was told was unidentified car. I don't know if it was an SUV or a car or what. That was just what I was told. It was an unidentified car. And that was another thing is when I asked the lead detective, I said, this car that was on Kellen, he was like, yeah, we already figured that out. That was an Uber. And I was like, no, the Uber was a neighbor on Devon that ordered an Uber about 5:30 to go to the airport. I know that. But
I stopped that there because do you remember that SF Investigates put out a couple of pictures, and one was at 3:28. That vehicle that was going up Kellen. No, 3 o'clock. Sorry, 3:28 going up Kellen, and that the Uber was at 3:30. So hold on. It would have been 2:55. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is the Kellen one. And Bobby is saying, I know for a fact that's the Uber one is at 5:30 because that some person ordered an Uber at 5:30. This is where it gets confusing because SF puts out this vehicle at 3:28 going up Kellen, I believe it was. No, sorry, I'm getting it confused. There's the Uber picture that SF put out with the red vehicle, and then there's the other one. Okay, so the 3:31 is apparently that Uber. The 3 o'clock one is the one that's going up Kellen, the one that apparently stopped at the corner of there. So here, Bobby is like I know for a fact 5:30 was the Uber. Who's right? Is it a picture that we're supposed to believe of this vehicle that was going up there for the Uber? Or is Bobby just off on her timing with the Uber? Yet she said, I know for a fact. But I have to say, Charmaine, Bobby said that she knows the neighbor that owns the video to that corner. And she literally says that she watched the unedited version. So why throughout this live at the start and then now, she says, because that's what I was told by the person that owns camera. But if you saw it, you would know what type of vehicle it was because you watched the footage.
Yeah, but like I don't know the timeline. Was this before or after she claims to have seen the footage?
It'd be after.
Oh.
Like meaning after the footage, like meaning she knows the neighbor who owns that place. She said, I watched the unedited version and it's not a trash truck type of thing. Those are two separate things. But then she also says at the start of this video and then right now, because I was told, well, you would never use those words if you physically saw that video with your own eyes. Then you would know if it was an SUV or a car. Not to say, oh, I was never told or I didn't, like that. Like, again, if you watch the video, the actual video, like she said she did, then you would have seen the friggin' vehicle. So she's lying about one way or the other. Something is a lie there.
And I mean, it only makes sense that what would she be lying about? She would be lying about seeing the video, the unedited video. And why would she lie about that easily enough to be more credible, to come off more credible?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Which is too bad. I mean, that's what this case doesn't need. It's got enough of that.
Well, that's just it. You got to be credible, right? So that's how I took that as well. That she's trying to make it seem as almost like, well, I seen it. No, apparently you didn't, because you would have not said 2 times in this live, and that's what happens, like with Katie and Christopher when they're speaking. These little Freudian slips or whatever you want to call them, and so things like that, right? When you hear them, they bug you because there's no way 2 things are both true here, I mean, she's the one that said, I saw the unedited version. So great. Then you would have seen the car. Then you could have easily have told us what the car was. Was it a car? Was it an SUV? But anyways, just going to point that out. And yes, SF, I don't got the time of day for that loser, to be honest with you. Okay. Now the last thing I want to go to is like of this part of it, is when Jay for Justice has Matt on the show. And I personally really enjoyed this live because, again, for me personally, I took the Matt as being truthful. He's someone that worked with Terry Bowersox, and it wasn't. I don't feel like he was trying to like gain all this notoriety off of it. I really felt like through this, there's people that speak up, like myself. You wouldn't see me shutting my mouth. That's for darn sure. And then there's people that are passive and just watch, and that's all they do, and stuff like so. Different personalities do different things, and I think that this guy was getting, like new information. You know how sometimes when you know the truth about people, and then you want to let people know, like, no, 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 these aren't good people, but this at this point is when he's let me see here. I got too many. Okay, I gotta close off some of my tabs. Tell you that much right now. I got too many. But do I have this one up? Yeah, okay. So this part right here is basically when he's basically talking about Terry and then calling Sebastian basically a tard and idiot. But anyways, let's just play this out a little bit, okay, guys? This one really boiled me. Okay, 1 second.
So did Terry talk about Sebastian? Did you know of Sebastian when you worked with him?
I just knew he referred to him as,
that word?
I'm not going to say word. Yeah. He used as the R word, idiot, is what he would call Sebastian.
Do you remember like the context he would use it in?
It was like whenever someone was talking about their kids, for example, if we were at in the break room and someone was talking about their kids and he was sitting there and he'd be like, my damn grandson, he's just I don't understand why he does some of the shit he does. He does, that word idiot. And just go off on a tangent talking about, things he did or, talking about stolen his pants, unbelievable stuff that, a company, coworker shouldn't know that about your grandson. You shouldn't be talking about your grandson like that anyway.
Yeah. It's awful. And how did people respond to that?
I mean, everyone, it literally, blew everyone away. Everyone there, feels the same way that everyone that I've spoke with that either worked there or still works there has said the same exact thing that I've said from the beginning, that they were involved. I truly feel like they were involved in this, and it was something pre-planned.
That's your theory, huh?
And just based off of the things that man said, done, the things that I know he's done, they're very, very dirty. I mean, going as far as paying people to, for example, if you were Chris's ex, he would pay someone to come to, your house, apartment, job, whatever, and just vandalize your car, cut your tires, whatever it may be, just to harm you and hurt you. And if he knew that, for example, like if you didn't make good money, what he considered good money, he would make it that much harder on you. He would make it, do double of what he would normally do, because he'd be like, oh, I'm not just hurting them by their heart, I'm hurting them in their pocket too, and shit like that.
What do you think about Katie's position in this?
You talking about, like, what do I feel like if I feel like she's involved?
Yeah, like, I mean, where do you think she stands in this?
I think my honest opinion, I feel like her and Cassie have sat, down, playing something out. Excuse me, playing something out, and it happened.
Wow. I mean, we heard
That's
from Nina, the ex-wife, that Melissa Proudfoot was saying to run her over with the truck.
Oh, I'm telling you, I can have some people contact you to tell you some stories about what he. Now, this is coming from Terry telling us. Now, I don't know if it's 100% true. I never looked into it, but he's told us stories about things that he's done, and it's kind of shocking, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
How is this man not in jail?
Is it something that bothered you before, or did you just never really think much of it and just think, oh, this guy is just a prick?
To
And
be
then when
honest with you,
Sebastian went missing, it made you like look at everything, or
to me. I thought a lot of it was just blowing smoke, and a lot of us did, except for there's a few things that I knew he wasn't blowing smoke about. I've seen that with my own eyes, or seen proof of it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But there's some things like paying someone to off your future ex-daughter-in-law, who is the mother of your grandchild. That's going a little far.
Yeah.
If you're being serious about it.
Stop that one there, and I forgot. I still have to play one more quickly, and it's from Silver's on the Scene. So that was on J for Justice channel. Now where's my Silver's on the Scene one? Oh, right here. Okay, so let me stop on that. Now, when you listen to this now, Charmaine, versus when we listened to it the first time, does it really make you pause for thought?
It does. It's really, I mean, the first time I heard this here, what we're listening to, I think I even said to you, like, who is this guy? Has he been vetted? Do we know for sure? And we've come out since then, and yes, he actually really did work with Terry Bowers-Hobbs, and he is who he says he was. And it's absolutely disturbing.
It is, because, go ahead.
That's my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Now,
And
much
I was going
different
to say,
than
sorry, you said something there at the end.
just much different than my first time watching it.
I'm watching. Okay. Yeah. So yes, and me, I was different. I was just like instantly, because I didn't find like the guy was coming off to be a showboat. He just, you know what? He was like, I know the true Terry Bauer socks and stuff like that. I worked with him. He's told us stories. He's called Sebastian these names. Okay. Okay. Snaggletooth there. Again, he's got out of his vehicle, to show, like to JLR, and same with Terry Lynn. All I read from these people, especially after listening to Nina, and just my own personal vibes, people that think that money can do everything and anything, that they are evil, that they are nasty people, and we'll get back into them. But we're gonna watch Silver's on the Scene. This is when he's talking about Warshims, because so I didn't really actually pay attention to a lot of the whole Warshims thing. I think it's Warshims or Washims or Warshims. And people were talking about Katie meeting up with Kathy Bauer socks and stuff like that. I actually thought it was quite a distance away. I didn't even realize it was right near Beach High School. But anyway, so we're gonna watch just a few minutes of Silver's on the Scene here. Okay. So play it from this mark right here.
Missing
145 days now. Let's bring him home. Let's keep looking, keep the awareness going.
That's Beach High School right there.
One of the theories I had read or heard was that when Katie did her little run around town, which would have brought her through here, exactly where we went and come this way, is that she was bringing Miss Bowersox, Kathy Bowersox, Katie, Kathy, Chris, all these K's, Chris. She was bringing her back to her car here because she had been at the home, and that's why she was at the home so early when the cops arrived. Now, the last time I was here, they were selling fireworks or fruit or something right here, so now it's open. Look, the kitty cat's in. He's sitting up there chilling. It's kind of hot out here. I'm a little bit in the sun, I'm a little bit in the shade. Last time I was here, I saw a raccoon too. But yeah, this is where I got the gas. And you know what? I think I'm gonna get some more gas. So I think while I pump gas, I might pull some camera. Now I gotta tell you something too. I'm just gonna state this. I wasn't gonna do this on camera, but I am because it's very interesting. Maybe every 15-year-old boy I see reminds me of Sebastian. But you see this home right across the street? When I was here last, there was a kid, teenager, and he was actually cutting the grass. Okay. And he had a resemblance to him, but what do I know, right? Maybe I'm just thinking everybody has a resemblance to him, but I was kind of hoping the kid would be out cutting the grass today so I could maybe get another look. But okay, so I'm gonna get some gas and take a look at this creek at the same time. More to come. So as I'm pumping gas, I just wanted to walk over here, give you a view. That's Straits Creek.
We'll stop that one there because the main point of that one was when about Kathy Bowersox being there at Warsham's and a meetup to hand Sebastian over, something like that basically. Anyways, so I just wanted to again go through certain things. Now I want to get to the meat and the bones of this entire live and what we're talking about. Let me just bring up let's just bring up that picture, shall we? Hold on. We'll bring it back out and hold on. There we go. Okay. So obviously Kathy Bowersox, Terry Bowersox. So I want to talk about multiple things about this. Where do I even begin, to be honest with you? Okay. The first thing I think I want to talk about, Charmaine, is when Seth arrived at that home that day, which was about 8:30, okay, just before 8:30, he arrives at the home. One of the things that was pissing him off, and he said it multiple times, was that, sorry, your feedback from your mic is distracting me on there. Just go for a minute.
Sorry, I'm going to mute. I just got back and I thought you were asking me something. I'm muting.
Not yet. Okay. So Seth said that Katie, Chris, and Terry and Kathy, who also had brought in a friend, that they were in the kitchen and they were talking about the Alaska vacation and what Christopher was going to buy his mom about jewelry. And he was really pissed off about that because a child, Sebastian, is missing. And that's what they're talking about in the kitchen. And when we're talking about putting things together, puzzle pieces together, and why it might make sense that allegedly, because Sebastian did disappear, who was involved, who wasn't involved, whatever. Another thing he also kept saying that bugged him was that Katie, as soon as he got there, she basically kept shoving the phone in his face with the picture of Sebastian from Costco the day before, and kept shoving in his face, going, "See, he was happy. See, he was having a good day, whatever." And he did. It just struck him as strange that's what she was doing, as if, again, we're looking at it from a narrative standpoint. So you got the Bauer socks in the kitchen, and Katie and Christopher and that, not seeming to give two shits. Well, Costco pick was 2 days before. Yes, it was on the Saturday. Well, 2 days before, if you consider the 26th that he went missing. But I just deem it as the 25th. But yes, so Saturday was Costco. Sunday was BJ's, correct. So we're just trying to look at everything about what happened to Sebastian, right? And what we've been presented with and what we've been shown, and kind of speculate from there on, because obviously it goes without saying that dogs didn't pick up a scent. I doubt very much that if somebody's carried, that a dog's going to pick up a scent to where the car goes. If they're on foot, sure. So does this being carried possibly have credibility to this? Okay. Again, there's so many different things that we can talk about with Katie and Christopher, the Bauer socks. Especially, so in that video that I was playing where Bobby was speaking, Christopher had basically was threatening her and stuff like that. And I didn't play it out long enough, but basically talking to her like a real dick. No shocker there, right? Any shocker that, say, Mama Socks and Daddy Socks there, or Terry Fox or Docs or Socks or Doc, whatever. Actually, don't want to make him with Terry Fox, but are kind of like undesirable people themselves. Follow the money? Yeah, but follow the money? Absolutely, in certain things. So throughout this whole live, it's trying to connect, okay, well, the psychic's picking up someone named Danny. There just so happens to be a brother named Danny Guy. Does he have anything to do with the disappearance? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But when it comes to Katie and Chris, since the beginning of this case, most people that have a regular, normal brain cell in their head have totally seen the inconsistencies, the lack of a mother showing that she is searching for her child, putting out flyers we keep hearing. She's gone on a couple things with Chris, but other than that, Mr. Narcissist there has been going on lives. And when he does go on lives, they're not really Sebastian focused. There's a huge difference when you watch Seth do Sebastian focused lives versus the Proudfoots, as we've seen on Web Sleuths and many others. Elevated Truth, Christopher keeps making it about himself. He gets very angry, and he acts like he has this justification to keep getting angry. Although a true adult would ignore the trolls and focus on Sebastian, because that's what it was about. The mom has never cleared up the entire timeline. Christopher has not wanted to talk about the thud. Why? Christopher has said that a light would have seen Sebastian had he gone out the front door. All we ever keep seeing is, even including this video that's out that we know is bogus and not Sebastian, he keeps pushing the narrative, to look in the other direction is what it seems like. So going back to that morning of when Seth arrived, Charmaine, they're talking about jewelry. They're talking about the Alaska vacation. Now, Christopher on Web Sleuths, that same live, said, you guys want to, they didn't leave a couple days after. It wasn't for a couple weeks. And he was on a 2-week work thing. And she, of course, she went with them. Do you think it was to avoid being questioned? Do you know what I mean? Well, what do you think about the Bower socks? Let me just ask you this. Or say whatever you like.
I so when I first heard that they were going to Alaska and that they actually, it just led me to believe that they 100% were not close at the very least, saying the very least, they were not close to Sebastian, they weren't connected. Now, knowing everything else that we know or that we've heard, it does seem like they were creating, number one, creating a narrative to follow, and two, getting out of Dodge so that they wouldn't have to answer any questions. It makes sense. It does. It makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, Kim, I know. Thank you. At first she said door because I remember her saying that to me in a Twitter message personally. It was about a door. She had said not window at the time, but I noticed that she said window this time when I heard her. But yeah, so there was a window left open. But okay. Katie shoving the phone in Seth's face, basically saying, look, he was happy, see? And he thought that was strange because she kept doing it. And he was almost like, get it out of my face. Like, why are you keep showing me this?
Is there anything that goes out of the norm needs to be looked at? You know what I mean? Anybody that's acting strange or doing things that they wouldn't normally do, like that's part of investigating, and it's strange. If Seth said it was out of the norm, then
it was out of the norm, like it was unusual. Yeah,
you have to look at it. You have to consider that as piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Oh, absolutely, because it's intuition. It's your gut feeling. When something doesn't seem right and it strikes you as odd, it's because, he's not sure maybe that it's a red flag at that time, but it just strikes him as odd. And so much so that he's brought it up many times when I'm talking about that. I mean, he did it in his live on November 24th, with Tony and the lap there. And you can see it's like he kept talking about it because it was strange. And I couldn't imagine being the father of this missing child and listening to people in the kitchen talk about the Alaska vacation and jewelry during a time when a child's missing, because I thought Katie was in hysterics. And another thing I want to say, so it strikes me as odd, maybe not perhaps, but that Kathy was there, right? Like, meaning she was one of the first ones there. I don't believe that Terry was there at the time. He wasn't, but I believe that she was. And it's kind of like, again, I'm looking at this from a pre-planned perspective, right? That these people are playing their roles. If Sebastian disappeared, why would this have happened? And it's so unlikely that Sebastian left on his own. It is so extremely unlikely. It's not even funny how unlikely it is, right? Everything that goes against the grain, from not taking anything, including his shoes, as he goes out the door. And somehow ninjas beyond all the cameras and everything, He's obviously not angry, because probably he would have went towards the street and something like that. But who knows? I mean, Christopher did say that a light was on and that he would have been seen if he went out the front door. But like Kim said there, Sweetie Pilo had talked to the neighbor, said that Sebastian's light went out at 9:08 in that living room night. Like you could see that the silhouette go across the light, whatever, and then the light went out close to 12 that particular night. But Christopher also said, like I said, all these different, it just jumps around. Like the thing with Seth is that it's like he says something and he'll keep saying the same thing. it's not a never changing story. With the Proudfoots, their behavior and their stories just don't align with things that they've said and done. And it's almost like, again, if something's pre-planned, then obviously you got a script basically about what you're going to say and do. Okay. So the other thing that bugs me personally with this case is when they're talking about when they called the sheriff's office. Does that part bug you?
Well, I don't really know what the latest story was because, as I understood at the beginning, she called him, Katie called Chris, said, I can't find Sebastian, he's not in the house. And then Chris said, hang on a minute. And then he called the sheriff's office from wherever he was. And then the next I heard was a three-way call. And now I think it sounds like he was there with Katie when they called. Like, I don't know what the current story is.
So we'll play that part.
Get them ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside.
I just ran. There's the thing. I just ran outside and inside. I think that's what people are talking about with the accent as well. I just ran all, just did my motherly thing, ran inside and outside. And he called right then and there. Called right then and there is what he said. Why would you omit the fact in this interview that Katie, as she drove around, kind of like I seen that card reader say today. She said, well, where's the dash cam footage? If you got the dash cam footage of Sebastian, like being in the vehicle and whatever, where's the dash cam footage then of her driving around to the school? Is it going to be released to us? No. But obviously there would be dash cam footage then if she's driving around school. But what bugs me is she says, hold on, I'm just going to play this out and then we'll come back.
In every closet.
Within minutes they were here. They responded within minutes. Here we go.
And I mean, mind you, all of this took place in 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows and I was hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school and he's already at this point I was hysterical and I was crying and I was screaming and he was three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them our son is missing and we don't know what's going on, and he was go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house and 20 days later, we haven't found him.
Doesn't that bug you? That in an interview, Charmaine, that they totally eliminated anything about it on the news one. They totally eliminated about that. Now remember, one's telling their story, then Katie's telling the story, but their stories don't mesh exactly. I mean, they're similar in a sense, somewhat, but not, but definitely off by the same, by about 50%, I would say, because they didn't quite get it right. Is how I feel. They didn't quite get it right. Then she drove back. So did you stop at Warsham's by chance? Hand off Sebastian to Bowersox there? And we'll get into that in a sec. Anyways, this one really bugs me because then and there, and in an important interview that you're doing, you somehow neglect, like knowing the Proudfoots now and knowing about like details. Then and there, is he behind the bed? And then you called the sheriff's office and they were just there in minutes. Nothing at all about the drive to the school first and stuff like that. Go ahead.
No, I agree. It's
inconsistent is what it is. Or just bold-faced lies.
It is. But recently, it's easier to see through the inconsistencies, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, this one's always bugged me. A lot of things have bugged me. Christopher Proudfoot going on live, pretending to be making up a voice from this Slade movie or something it was, and making a joke of it. Like I said, there's so many things that I don't got enough time in a day to sit here and talk about them all. So it goes back to the lies about the polygraph test. It goes about him. The best part of it all, the best part of Sebastian's disappearance is that he managed to, basically outwit everybody. Christopher Proudfoot constantly making it about himself. Katie Proudfoot in the interviews. Why she wasn't even holding a picture of her son. Normally she's looking at pictures all the time here. And so what? She was literally doing this with her hands. And she didn't even have a picture of her son. Let alone wearing his favorite color, green. Let alone truly making us feel like, you know what? Cameras, I don't care that you're there right now. Sebastian, we love you so much. Please, if anyone has you, please bring him, let him come home, whatever. Like doing a direct plea. Not what we keep hearing, which seems so, like, it's like listening to a recorder over and over again. The same thing. Well, what would you say if Sebastian was listening right now? But it's like you don't feel this true pain coming through. Like of emotion, like you would expect from a parent, like a mother, somebody that has hidden. So I'm just saying, like, all those things, and there's so many of them. To sit here and believe that Katie, that she has this true love and special bond with her son, not feeling it. She's not showing me. I don't feel that she's being genuine. And it's just like you said, they've had time to sit here and rehearse and go over. They had a lawyer present during that WSM, whatever, V1 or whatever. Okay. So that whole part of it is just like all of it is just off. There's no need to lie. There's no need. Like you can have slight inconsistencies, but nobody sits there and says after 8 days that this is a case to be studied. And so you get the feeling like, and Christopher Proudfoot, when he was in that interview, he was having a moment that he was trying to look like he genuinely cared about Sebastian. I wasn't buying it. he was like literally soft spoken, going, you know, it will be basically the best day when Sebastian comes through that door. We know he will, you know, and it's hard, you know, going through this day by day. And I'm just like, fuck off. You don't give two shits about Sebastian. Anyways, you take your thoughts. Thank you, Yasmin.
No, my thoughts echo yours, exactly the same.
There's just, like I said, it's just when it comes to Katie and Christopher, okay, right? I think we're all clear on what we feel is being deceived and deception, and that the emotions aren't real. Too many inconsistencies. Katie's not even shouting from the rooftops for her son. They keep repeating themselves about handing out flyers, yet they took Sebastian's flyer off of their vehicle. Why? Everything is self-absorbed. Again, right? Their relationship, according to Seth, Christopher had said to him, which Seth has said himself, but had talked to Donna Serafina and said basically that their relationship, that there was basically ready to crumble. Shocker, right? That's not a shocker at all, because obviously this is wife number 5 here. So the point going to be about all of this right now is that when you listen to Matt talk about Terry Bowersox and actually even how Terry spoke about his wife, but which was disgusting, but whatever, is that this is an artard. He's an idiot. Soils his pants. They don't give two. The Bowersox, to sit there and see these posts like, you know what, we just need your help and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Literally, you want to tell them to just shut up. Because you wouldn't be planning no Alaskan vacation or still be willing to go on it if you truly cared about Sebastian. And sit there and talk about a vacation while Seth is there and about the jewelry that you're going to buy. And then you're going to sit there and put out posts as if you care about Sebastian. But I think it's understood by what Matt was saying, and it doesn't shock me if this is how Terry is, because, again, you can see that aggressive attitude in him. It doesn't shock me that Matt was told stories, or that Matt was told stories even by Terry Bowersox about things that they did, like slash tires and stuff like that, right? And basically saying that there's some like things that I know about, but also things that other people know about. These are not good people. Now, the point being is that, to me, Nina and Faith, trying to take Faith away from Nina, going dirty about it. These people are trying to use their money and power, to me, is hypothetically, use their money and power. And I think that they just simply, that Sebastian was a thorn in their asses. Simple as that. Sebastian was an unwanted thorn. Now, on Seth's live that he did the other day with Jennifer Coffin-Daffer, there was how many pages, Charmaine? I don't know, 100 and something, 56 or 57 pages. From he had a therapy session once every week, and there was usually like 6 to 7 pages of notes.
Yeah, like 287.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? Is that what it was? Can you talk about that for a second?
What do you want to say about it? What do you mean talk about it for a second?
Okay, so do you just only know the number of pages, or did you not watch that part of that live?
I watched it. I just don't remember there being any specific details, like about all 287 pages.
Confused on that one. So what I'm asking you to talk about on this one, Charmaine, is, so Seth said what he learned in those pages was about stuff he had no clue that Sebastian was going through all of that stuff.
Right. And he was beating himself up that he didn't see it, that he didn't realize that he was going through that. You know, he didn't say a whole lot about it.
He didn't say a whole lot, but he basically was letting you know that what was going on in that home. He had no clue that that was going on with his son and how
Right.
he felt and how he was being treated, as if he was nothing,
Right.
as if he was a nothing burger.
Right.
I had actually fallen asleep, so I actually didn't hear that until later when I listened to it, and I was like, "Whoa, what?" And that's besides the CPS report.
Right. Yeah, no, that had nothing to do with CPS. That was just his
Yeah,
therapy or counseling.
you know, the stuff that we see outwardly without knowing what's in those pages, but he gave us kind of like the gist. Basically, every week Sebastian went to a therapist and are basically, shared. I feel personally that he didn't share it with Seth because he didn't want to betray his mom, and to me, he didn't want to betray his mom by saying stuff. Probably because he was in fear of getting in trouble if he did say stuff to his dad. I don't know. I feel like it was more of a fear thing about why he didn't say it.
And not just that, like I know from experience, kids want to try to protect their parents. So if, and probably Seth was the type of parent who would have gone over
Yeah.
and
Yes.
done something or confronted Christopher about some of the stuff, and that would have caused an altercation. And kids don't, I don't know Sebastian obviously, but I know my kids would do anything to avoid their parents having any kind of
Yeah.
conflict, you know.
You know, I was going to say, because I mean, I do that as an adult. I
Mhm.
mean, lots of times for me to even have let Charmaine talk about stuff with Charmaine personally and stuff like that, that's something that I never really did before. I would just have conversations, but never would I give her too much insight into the the hurtful side of my life because I don't I wouldn't want someone to start thinking badly typically, because then you give then that person can look at that person another way. But I was like I said, most people would never know that I even had, abusive relationships and stuff like that if I didn't say it because I would never let it out because fear. I didn't want to be embarrassed, in a sense and stuff like that. And yeah, so when I'm thinking about Sebastian not saying anything, I'm just kind of thinking heck, I mean, I've done the same thing where nobody knew anything, but then Grandma, Robin Rogers there, right? Remember she had made some comments basically letting us know that Sebastian had said things to her and that she would take it to the LE if basically Christopher didn't shut his pie hole, basically, or something like that. It was something like that. But, anyways, and then everyone was kind of upset at her because it's like, what do you mean? What information are you holding back? So it seems like Sebastian spoke to his grandma, but that Robin didn't let her son even know what the conversation was between them. But it was enough for Robin to basically say, to make it sound like that stuff about Christopher Proudfoot, or maybe his home life or whatever. And then we have these pages that he's talking about. And this is on top of the stuff that we already know about, the belts, the Christopher twisting words and acting like, well, I didn't say it that way and I didn't do this and that. No, you're recorded, dude. But taking away his snake, his talking about his toys, like things that really would have an impact on a child where it sticks. They're
Taking
saying
away his right to wear underwear.
taking away his right to wear underwear. All these the neighbors, what the fighter pilot guy was saying, the neighbor, that nobody liked Christopher Proudfoot. That's why he wasn't invited to any of the thing about uh, Sebastian getting pressure washed, by Sebastian. A CPS report, a CPS person comes out because of Sebastian Rogers having a mattress in the bed that apparently has sleep in the garage. Sebastian, and remember how Chris likes to twist things. And he tells you about the incident at school, which I believe was another incident. And he's like, basically, Sebastian basically is lying, because when he says like that she came home, I think they were having dinner or something. And then, Sebastian, you're not supposed to lie and say these things. I don't think Sebastian was lying about anything. Christopher wants us to believe that it was just nothing. The lady came out, you know, it wasn't true. And Sebastian, we know Christopher does this stuff. He's a manipulator of people. He's a manipulator, like full and on. Does the apple fall far from the tree? With Terry Bowersox and his mother. Okay, Terry Bauer, like when Bobby was talking there, basically like my mom runs the majority of things here in Gallatin, so basically I can make things awful for you, type of thing, you know. And we know the way he has spoken to females and stuff like that, and he acts like he's the victim. When it's like Sebastian doesn't even matter. He's too busy worrying about him being the victim. Why? Because I think that they're directing, that they're planting seeds. So, what was the thing I said to you yesterday, Charmaine? Um, when Christopher said, and he said it, I can't remember whose live he said it on, but when he said something about like, and I told Katie, if it ever comes between me and your son, I expect you to say your son. And I'm like, just foreshadowing, putting out, always twisting the narrative. I'm the good guy, is what Christopher Proudfoot is saying there yet again. Remember, because the internet would blow up the minute that he joined on the web sleuth, all because of him. We consistently see his narcissistic ways, but all I see is somebody a mother that is showing no concern about her son, the stepfather that's taken the lead, trying to take control. And I think this is where they get their story mixed up, right? I feel like this is where they get their story mixed up. Christopher Proudfoot has taken on the role of pushing out to us the narratives. Katie is not speaking because Christopher is the, like I said, the authoritative one, I believe, in this relationship. But not that Katie's no Miki. But Katie, when she speaks, she usually messes up, like she did on that interview when she said, and Sebastian would have, whatever, right? And it's those inconsistencies, or that, and remember Christopher, right? This one still makes me laugh to this day because it's so ridiculous. Well, I can't tell you, and I'm not going to tell anybody because Ali, TBI, whatever, told me not to tell you when I left. Biggest joke.
That's ridiculous.
So then it comes to back to the Bowersox and back to Katie and Christopher. They didn't like Sebastian. To me. Christopher's calling him an artard, apparently. Terry Bowersox is calling him an artard, soil pantsis. It's almost like he was a joke to the Bowersox side, for sure.
I think he was an embarrassment
to them all.
Bowersox side, and I think that they desperately wanted their biological granddaughter.
Absolutely. So going to that, Charmaine, and I'll let you speak here on this part, because the whole point is what we're trying to say is that you have people that simply don't want Sebastian around. Okay? They're talking about putting him in a facility, too expensive, whatever. Well, the Bowersox, listening to what Matt said too, putting it all kind of together, thinking about this logically from all the different angles, what to me makes the most sense is that regardless of 3 or 4, probably definitely 4, is that I think that Sebastian was somebody that was just discarded and that they had to get rid of him. He was just a pain in their ass and it would have prevented Faith. They were trying to they wanted Faith. Remember, Sebastian's a little monster, right? He's wetting his bed. He's wetting his pants for a reason. I'm so sorry, but that poor child. And when you listen to Seth talk about the 287 pages on top of the CPS reports, on top of watching how these people have acted during a missing case, I don't feel sorry for them at all. At all. They do not have any part of sympathy from me because they have not earned it. Because when you're wanting your child to come back, this is not what you do. So, was their motive to get Sebastian out of their life? Was this pre-planned?
And the first thing I asked you when we were talking last night is, why not just let Seth have him? Why can we not find Sebastian anywhere? And you said,
Go ahead.
well, number one, they were worried that Sebastian was going to harm Faith.
Instead of giving him
They were also afraid that Sebastian was going to tell us, wasn't he supposed to testify at that custody hearing?
That was supposedly that was untrue, but I don't know. If it comes out of Christopher Proudfoot's mouth, you can't believe it.
Right, but also, I mean, not just that. If anything, in those therapy notes, which I don't know when they were given to Seth, but if anything came out about that stuff, Chris's chances of getting Faith back would be gone. Like, he would have no chance.
Absolutely.
The calls to Child Protective Services, all of that goes to, preventing the proud feet from getting Faith back. And to me, because I'm a normal human being, that's not a motive to kill a child or to do something terrible to a child. But these people don't seem normal to me. So it's not that far of a stretch, in my opinion, to think that could be right, Sharon. I mean, that ship has sailed. And everybody that's talking about, thank you very much, Kissa. Everybody that's talking, including Sunny, about him being carried out of the house, he still wasn't seen on camera. He left the house in the trunk. That's the only way that he wasn't seen on a camera. Doesn't matter how he got out, or who took him, or whatever. He had to have gotten out in the trunk of a car. They're like, where did he go? No sense, no nothing.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, still, like, even regardless how people want to look at it, whether it was through flashlight video and Sebastian being carried that way, or through the Katie's vehicle, bottom line is, to me, the most plausible still explanation is those 4 people, at least. That those 4 people, at least. You think that reward money is going to get collected? No. Why? Because they're thick as thieves.
Right.
They that family that sticks together, dies together, whatever together, that's the Proudfoot side, for sure.
And they clearly don't need the reward money.
They don't need the reward money. It means nothing to them at all.
To any one of them, like individually, I always say that the best way to keep a secret is to make sure you're the only one that knows the truth, unless it's a team effort and not one single individual needs reward or recognition for ratting or however you'd want to put it. You know what I'm saying?
I think like I said, when I look at everything, and I think like more so recently, when I think about all the actions, when I think about those 2 interviews that just happened, when I think about the Bower Sox talking about vacationing whilst Sebastian is missing, the inconsistencies in the stories, the narcissistic personality that's trying to always deflect, the mother that's not coming out to barely speak about her son, that keeps claiming, like we want just people keep searching, please, in these interviews. It's so, to me, these are such pathetic attempts. You're not wearing your son's favorite color. You're not holding a picture of him. You're not anything. You're trying to give us these crocodile tears, and I'm just not believing in these crocodile tears. I think about what Yada said about Katie, and oh, you mean the fake tears? You mean the Katie that gets everything she wants? I think that myself, okay, I think that Katie was a very depressed person. I don't ever think that my own self. I don't Night Crafty. I don't think that she had a big special bond. And I think that that was shown through those notes that Seth was reading, that he was basically ignored. Jennifer said it. A lot of us have said it. That I know if I was sitting down at the table with my son eating dinner, I might pick up my phone once, but I'm more interested in spending that time with my son, But Katie, she was like, dude, scrolling away. Then it was almost like snap, snap, a couple pictures, 2 pictures I recall. And other than that, it was like, and then Christopher admits that, okay, like, oh, just to tell you, all those pictures came to me. Again, can look at it a lot of different ways. But I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. Like, I don't think, and I don't know for sure, of course, I'm just speaking off tongue here. But I don't think that the LE went too much further past, okay, well, let's check out your house. Is Sebastian here? Nope. Da 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 da. And taking them at their word, in a sense, and basically like saying, okay, well, nothing to see over here. I think that there was a lot to see over there. And I think that if they really truly went into this deeper, that nothing actually is something. I think that Sebastian was given over, that Sebastian was taken away from his home. Taken. He didn't walk out of there. I think he was taken out of his home. Probably, perhaps medicated. Possibly. I don't like to ever go too far off the beaten path, but I don't think that this is off the beaten path. We're showing the Bower Sox, or at least Terry, from what the neighbor says. Like I said, it's not just one thing. It's the totality of each individual. Okay? Money. They think that they can buy everything. Remember how they were chasing Nina down when she got Faith and they were following her? That's the Bower Sox. The Bower Sox talking about a vacation. Did they go away on purpose to Alaska? Or was it pre-booked way ahead of time? Because we can't believe nothing that Christopher says at all. We can't. He has not shown it. And for these little sapsuckers to sit there, hi Renegade, to sit there and try to bring down Seth as if he's the shitty parent, and that abuser losers here, the Proudfoots, what an ironic name. Proudfoots.
To me, the timing of it could be as simple as the pre-planned Alaskan vacation coinciding with the anniversary of Katie's divorce.
Right.
Just to kind of while they were maybe just spitballing, just, in the pre-planning stages, and we're going to Alaska here, this is this anniversary, whatever. And maybe it started off as a joke and like wishful thinking.
Absolutely.
To more,
Absolutely. A lot of people have commented on that, and I haven't really put much thought into that until recently. And I'm like, hold on a second. You know, Christopher Proudfoot, and I'm sure Terry Bowersocks, especially Christopher Proudfoot, he's like, you know what? Why don't we do it on the divorce date of Seth and Katie here? Because he likes to manipulate. He likes to be evil. He likes to play these games. He enjoys this. This is no different, you guys, than the pig fest shirt. That was a purposeful shirt he was wearing to me that basically is telling you guys, like the haters, calling it a pig fest. He ain't just wearing that shirt just because that day. Okay? That's not Christopher Proudfoot. He loves to be the smartest person. He loves to sit there. You know what? You're right. I'm not even thinking about Sebastian, but this case is definitely a case to be studied for. You know, we're just that good. We're just that smart that this case will definitely be talked about. It's like someone being so proud, no pun intended, so proud of their work and their manipulation. Like, honestly, the stuff that this man has said and did to Sebastian, this guy, that's why when he's trying to portray this caring attitude about wanting Sebastian back so bad and stuff like that. Cut, take two. No, let me just be a little bit more emotional. It was nauseating to say the least, listening to someone who calls a child an artard. Basically, a relationship's gonna end because he can't deal with Katie and Sebastian, you know. And he just was, to me, a thorn in the ass that they needed to get rid of for multiple reasons, but the main one being faith. That this little monster couldn't do anything to anyone, but especially it would hinder if Sebastian, regardless of going to Seth, the one reason that really that they would do that they hypothetically allegedly would do something like this is because Sebastian had to be out of the way regardless.
So now the question is, where is he?
That's right. And that's the question. Where is he?
Does anybody know? And I don't think we ever will know, but where is this location where Chris had to pull over and help the lady with the flat tire or wrecked car or whatever? Where's that at?
Hmm. Oh, that's another thing, Charmaine. That's that whole 7 hour window to get back. Not buying it. Not buying it. Silver's on the scene had spoken to someone that worked with Victor Proudfoot, like on the Jude site. She had said that there was he whatever it was had said that there was a relief person on the site already. I'm not, Christopher Proudfoot is double talk there as well, because how can you sit there and say that you were on the phone talking with the police almost up until you got back to Hendersonville? So what? You're up in your crane as you're working, just sitting there, and because trust me, you're not going to be on that phone being able to talk, meh, 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 especially with such precise movement that you have to do when you're picking up stuff from the crane, and that you're going to sit there pretty much on the entire time till you got home talking with the police. Yeah, no, something's totally amiss there. That 7 hour window, there's something amiss in that whole shit to me. It doesn't equate. 7 hours. He gets back at say 1. Doesn't equate to me that. Sunny, they have warlike in this video green. Right.
No, I really don't think that means anything. I think that was just whatever clean shirt with a collar he could find quick to go on the news. I don't think it had anything to do with Sebastian.
I honestly don't either. I think he was just looking for his favorite color.
Yeah.
Maybe
Probably not even his favorite color, just whatever. Oh, it has a collar. I'll look respectable.
You
I'm
know?
not even going to wear a hat this time.
Mhm.
I think they meant pig shirt.
Who said pug? Yeah, pig shirt.
The
The pug.
breaks earlier, they said the pug shirt, it's a pig shirt.
Yeah, where it says Pig Fest, right
Yeah.
in the corner of it. He did that on purpose. Again, they are thick as thieves. Absolutely. When you look at the, let me just put it this way. Again, put this back into perspective. Still, again, Sebastian has the day of his life, like the last dinner, like we keep talking about. She brags that she's made pancakes. Who's
Spaghetti pancakes.
spaghetti pancakes. He has the day of his life. And on this same day, now, there's definitely things that are in question here because it was said that Katie was sleeping at like 10 and, you know, it wasn't like she was correcting the Duchess when she said, well, okay, so you fell asleep at the couch at 10. And that's apparently what she told, maybe, I guess maybe that came from the neighbor. I'm not sure. Um, or if that was from Kate, because they had talked already, right? I mean, the Duchess had been talking to them prior to the live. They had had like a long phone conversation talking, right? So the first thing basically was like, so you said that you fell asleep on the couch at 10. All I know is that we would have heard him this, that, this, um, wondering about the whole Danny thing, poker game, this, that, whatever. All I see myself is after you look at all the plausible things that could have happened to Sebastian, one is he did not walk out of that home on his own. So hand it over in the morning to Kathy Bowersocks, taken by the flashlight video, whichever time. The only thing that keeps seeming logical of all of this, with the no camera thing, blah, 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 is that possibly more so the more believable one is that Sebastian, I don't know, but I mean, some of them, both of them kind of have some equal value to a point, but the more logical one is Sebastian was handed over from Katie's vehicle during that time that she was out searching for Sebastian.
And I've been asking for a year, how long was she out for? Like, how long was she gone for? Because I was thinking in my head, something happened in the house and she went and she moved him, only to go back and move him later.
It's
But it
only
wouldn't take long to go to that gas station, do a quick change, and then get
no,
back home.
not at all. It's right near Beach School, right? It's literally right beside, pretty much up the road, just from Beach School.
Yeah, we just watched that video. Like, it's not even a 2-minute drive.
You know, exactly. It's not even 5 minutes. It's actually 2 minutes. It's literally like right there.
Well, I don't know if the video was actually edited, I guess, but it wasn't even 5 minutes. It was like.
But even, I mean, when I punched it into Google, the distance, it was 2 minutes. And right, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Either way, at the end of the day, who hated Sebastian? Who didn't like Sebastian? Chris, raise your hand. The notes given to Seth about what was going on in that house. Okay, this isn't a child that ran away without his shoes on. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This isn't a child that runs away and doesn't call his dad and leaves his phone on the counter, which reminds me, I want to go back to that for a second. Not this one, but come on. Oh, little Sebastian. Right there. There's Sebastian's phone right there. You know the phone that was on the counter that he didn't take? You know the snackies he didn't take? And everything he didn't take? Because this child just decided that he was going to run out of the house, maybe with socks on perhaps, and was going to, freaking fly to the moon somehow. And that's why he was undetected. Or does it honestly make more sense that Sebastian didn't leave that home on his own accord? That Sebastian was not seen on cameras for that exact reason. And that's hence why there was nothing taken of Sebastian's. Because allegedly they wanted to get rid of Sebastian.
And I mean, I feel terrible for saying this stuff. I mean, we have no proof, obviously, but it's just another theory that we're speculating on. But unfortunately, that means that in this theory, Sebastian is gone. And if Seth were to ever watch this or hear it, it really it upsets me knowing that these words will upset him as well. But I think it's helpful to speculate and to brainstorm. And Sunny has put a lot of time and energy into, and Melissa, into the timeline, into gathering all the facts, into debunking all the crap that's out there and trying to weed out the bullshit. And this is where we're at now. We're Friday night is when, all the bugs of this theory were kind of worked out. And it's actually devastating that it makes so much sense. As nonsensical as it is, it makes so much sense. And it's devastating.
Because it honestly, again, I mean, yes, it's definitely just speculation. And obviously, if the Bowersox and Katie and that had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, that child's not alive. That child has no chance. Not with those evil people. Hoping that this is wrong. But it's just when you look at everything from what the neighbors are saying, from what the worker with Terry, from the names he's been called, from how he was treated, to the information that Seth has, to the actions and reactions of Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot, and how this whole thing up until this point has come across. The only people that seem to truly dislike Sebastian is his own family members from the Proudfoot side. They don't care about Sebastian. Seth cares about his son, Sebastian. That's true love for a child right there. That man loves his son, and it oozes through the computer screen without a shadow of a doubt. I would stake my own life on it. The Bowersox Proudfoots, I think this was pre-planned. I think it was a last meal day, in my opinion. I think that if anyone had motive to try to get rid of Sebastian so that Faith could come in and Sebastian was just a fucking thorn in their ass, that they got the money, the power, they're evil. I could see these people sitting down at a table talking. The only one that I have a hard time believing that would do this would be Katie, his own mother. But I don't see her actions matching anything of that of a missing mother. So I would have to include her as just as evil. It's the only thing I can see when you look at it, at everything. It's like a big red flag to me going off, going, look, we have all this. These people did not care about Sebastian. They wouldn't be talking about a vacation while a child's missing in the case. But meanwhile, Seth is all getting all pissed off and he goes out and starts looking for Sebastian. Anyways, So the
I
whole
agree, Jackie. I do. I agree that he can't accept it. He refuses to accept it, and he's keeping faith. But deep down, after seeing those therapy reports and the CP reports, I think that Seth knows something terrible has happened to his son, and that's heartbreaking.
I right. And I think like with anyone that's in this situation, when they don't know, they're just praying to God that Sebastian is out there and that he's with somebody instead to think that people could be this evil. That
And that's
means
what you do when you're a parent. Unless you have proof, you're gonna think your child is alive. Some mothers are different. They can feel
they
it.
just think they know.
But most parents would need that solid proof.
Hmm. Well, because there's no answers, you know. So I just feel, Charmaine, let's just hypothetically again say that it's Chris, Katie, and the Bauer Sox. What do you think that Ellie has not done in the sake of going to their home, talking to them,
If
seeing if
there's no, yeah, so if there's, the problem is, so if there's no evidence, which, I mean, both Chris and Katie kept saying, no evidence, no evidence, but if there's no evidence, like maybe Kathy's had a perfectly good reason for being in the area that morning, and like everything would have been planned out, so they would have had a perfectly good reason that they could back up with facts, because it doesn't take long to swap. It would be like a 30-second not even thing. So a quick stop at a gas station, a cell phone data. I mean, you can't disprove unless there's a camera there.
well,
Do you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? And then if he never got into, um, and maybe it was a different vehicle they used, there's no hair or fibers or anything. Maybe they didn't look. Maybe they haven't even questioned the Power Sox because they were leaving. Like I don't know, but they have to have evidence. They don't have to have evidence. They have to have probable cause to do certain things, right? And it's a much lower standard, but they have to have a reason to to not question, because that's what an investigation is. You question everybody, but you have to. They probably just don't have an avenue of proof to follow,
Exactly.
because everything that they did was very, or allegedly could have been very well planned out to coincide with things that they regularly do anyway. So
Yes,
it's not out of their regular routine, you know. And then with Chris coming back all that way, the fact that it took him too long to get back, well, now he's got a perfectly good story. He stopped to help a lady.
exactly.
You know, you'll never find the lady. No, of course I didn't get her number. I didn't know her license plate. I don't know who she was. How are they going to find that?
Mm-hmm.
And what? Because his truck was pulled over, stopped for 45 minutes to an hour, whatever, how long? Who knows what he was doing there? But he says he was there helping a lady. So
This is what I probably would feel myself. Um, I feel that they're definitely being looked at and watched. They're not going to tell us
oh,
that.
for sure. No, absolutely. I think that if you think about this entire case, like what we in the public know,
Mm-hmm.
it is bizarre. They are bamboozled.
Mm-hmm.
They've got nothing to say because they're watching how every little piece of information and misinformation catches like wildfire. And people keep saying that they're well connected in that community. Like
Yes.
with the police. Like Kathy is very friendly with the police.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go into corruption, but I mean, then I look at the Summer Wells case in the same area, and it's like, well, I don't know. But then Megan Boswell, she was from Tennessee too, and it's like, well, they were relentless with her once they realized that something was wrong. So it's hard to say about law enforcement. Are they doing everything that they can? I like to think so. I don't know.
I like to, you know what? And they could be knowing exactly what we do, but you know what? If there's no evidence, they certainly can't get probable cause if there's nothing to show what they might exactly think what we're thinking right now. But I believe that the Bowerstocks, including Katie, are very smart people. Very. Like never to be underestimated by how smart these evil people, to me, are. They're smart. Christopher Proudfoot. He's not fooling me. Katie's hiding behind this whole thing. Like she's hiding behind this whole Sebastian disappearing. She very little speaks. It was definitely to me planned that an interview with her by herself and then together. Why would you need a lawyer when you're searching for your son? Why would you hold back information? Why would you not give full information? Why? Why would you go on lives? Christopher Proudfoot, the thing with Katie is that usually when people are guilty of something, hide, right? Because maybe they're not such good liars. Christopher Proudfoot, he'll take ownership. He'll sit there and go on people's lives and try to misdirect the truth. Absolutely. Misdirect, manipulate. Again, things that don't make sense that a normal, regular human being would do that isn't a full blown narcissist. But Christopher Proudfoot, again, there's a huge difference, red flag, by what Seth is doing. Okay, this is common sense. This isn't about pro Seth and hate on the Proudfoots. This is just looking at what is what is. This is exactly how we're seeing it. All these people that are wise, regardless, are seeing the exact same things. They know it's not natural and normal that this is how a missing person, a mother of a son acts. But is it the way a narcissist acts? The way that he comes out and lies and makes lives about himself and he joins lives because he, is talking about trying to correct disinformation? Well, when Seth was asking him to correct the information about his own mother, meaning the Bowerstocks not having him or whatever, right? He went off on his whole huffy and puffy. Why? Again, probably like he's only too happy to have people believe that that was possibly a sighting of Sebastian Rogers in this latest video, which it's not. He loves being that egotistical, chauvinistic pig, and that shirt that he wore the other day suits him. He might have thought that he was playing a subliminal message on us. Douchebag. The pig shirt, that's exactly you. You're a
He's the
pig.
type of man, he reminds me of the type of man that would go around preaching that he's an alpha male, you know?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, you know, his personalities, they stick out like sore thumbs. They just do. They're the biggest sore thumb. But right from the start, he's a big sore thumb to me. The minute I deem that you are a controller and that you have aggressiveness in your tone of your voice is the minute I know exactly who you are. And there's nothing about Christopher Proudfoot right from the start in that second interview when he was like, and I've always made fun of this a bit, when he's like, and the neighbors, like, they'll just be so happy when Sebastian just comes right through that door. You mean the door that you wanted closed because you didn't want him even in your life, right? But he's trying to portray to us that he cares, that he wants Sebastian back. Really? Says a person who's about to end the relationship because you're tired of Sebastian and your relationship's in turmoil because of Sebastian, they're trying to portray this false front to the news, but you're not fooling us. That's the difference. You're not that, like, they're smart. They might be smart to sit down and try to plan something, hypothetically, allegedly, blah, 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 right? But when it comes to seeing genuine emotions, that's a whole different ball of wax. And a narcissist doesn't even recognize it because they truly believe that they're manipulating you and that you're believing them. And he gets madder and madder when you don't believe him, actually, you know? And then again, he'll jump up on a live just because he's pissed off about that. Just like he wanted to talk to me on probably on Facebook that day. It's because I told him basically he was a douchebag and whatever, but you know, all that stuff. But I said, hey, look, it's not the truth about Sebastian. It happened to be on Mother's Day. And then he's like, do you have a minute? And I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I was preparing myself to record the conversation and everything because I knew he was going to try to blast me a new a-hole, but I was going to have none of that. But I knew that that's what he was trying to do. So I was preparing myself. And then he's like, actually, you know what? Because I think cause I mentioned it was Mother's Day. And I was like, yeah, I mean, and so he's like, actually, never mind. It is Mother's Day type of thing. And that's Christopher Proudfoot, right? I was like, darn it all. Because I know he was going to sit there and, like I said, that's Christopher style, you know? It's like I basically said, look, I see exactly right through you. Don't give a shit. Just, you know, talk to me about Sebastian. You know, tell us about the timeline. You can be the biggest douche in the world. Just tell me about the timeline.
Yeah. Sonny, I'm going to have to get off here.
No, I'm getting off here too as well. So with that being said, you guys, everything that we were showing with regards to, say, Donna, her own premonitions there, some other readers and stuff like that. The whole gist of it was to show you pretty much that not definitely, but that is a very plausible line that Sebastian Rogers, that something happened to him and that they allegedly, supposedly could have had something to do with that disappearance, which is highly on the more likely scale than not likely scale, to be honest with you, once you look at everything. All right. Thank you, guys. S-Dubs, thank you for becoming a new member. Simone, mother-in-law there. Jace, basically father-in-law there. A couple super stickers, and Jackie Young becoming a new member. Thank you guys so much. Melissa, feel better. Please, hugs to all you guys. Thank you, mods. Thank you guys for being here on the second live. Charmaine, thank you so much. And Charmaine, just final thoughts, and then we're going to head off. Thank you, guys.
Just I hope we're wrong, and I hope Sebastian comes home safe and sound, and all my best goes out to Seth and his family and his supporters, and thanks for listening to us be weird and speculate tonight.
No, it's all in the name of Sebastian and trying to understand what happened to Sebastian. So hopefully, again, darkness comes to light at some point, and the visual, again, you guys, prayers to Seth and all the family members out there and the people that went to it in support of them and stuff like that. Other than that, you guys have yourself a wonderful night, and thanks for being here. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.